Hi, good afternoon. On a very sultry afternoon of the 8th of June, we are now starting off a new group, Round the Clock Cricket. Hi, I'm Rahul. I have with me a very esteemed panel of experts, Kunal Mukherjee from Kolkata, Sudeep Das from Kolkata, Sagar Chaudhary from Kolkata, and Rajiv Iyer from Hyderabad. All of us in very different fields in life, but all of us are minded with only one uh, passion or frenziness, that is cricket. And cricket makes us speak throughout the day, round the clock, and that's the reason the group of the name. We are now at a crossroad of a wonderful time in cricket history where we are going through transition phases. One transition probably is the phase where Indian team, our own Indian team is going through, where there are a lot of discussions going on and which we will deliberate. The other discussion point which will carry off at the fag end is the WTC final between Australia and South Africa, where one team is on the verge of transition, with Australia having 8 people in the team out of 14 over 30. Usman Khawaja 38, Labuschagne 32, Mitchell Starc 34, Pat Cummins 33, Hazelwood 34. So there are 8 of them out of the top 14 who are 30 plus, and that team can also explode into a lot of uh, transition, which we'll have to see and figure out how they are doing. So that is the way we are now going to plan our discussion today. Our first discussion point for the day, we will start off with, which is a very, very burning topic, very pertinent topic, and a discussion point which will take off immediately with Kunal and Rajiv, and that is the team selection merits and demerits. So over to Kunal and Rajiv for the discussion point on team selection merits and demerits. आप लोगों को कैसे लगता है?
Hi, Rahul. Thank you so much. I think we talked about a very burning topic, and the question is that whether the young team, which has been completely revamped after Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli's absence in the middle order. So, first of all, I am wanted to say that this team definitely looks very promising in terms of talent. Now, we all know that talent should also have an application on the field. So, there are certain players who are definitely proven their mettle in the past in tour of Australia and domestic circuits and everywhere other parts of the globe. So Subman Gill, I feel helm of the affair. It's a good choice. He's a future leader. Led the Gujarat Titans, though in a shorter format of the game, but still has got a good captaincy exposure. I feel this team is. Somebody asked me one few days back whether this team is one all-rounder shot or one bowler shot or one batter shot. I feel this question is not right. Definitely the selectors have seen the performance of these youngsters in the domestic circuit as well. People talked about Sai Sudarshan inclusion due to IPL performance. Certainly, it is not. His first class record is quite amazing. You people must go through. He has earned his place because of his domestic performance in the Ranji Trophy. India went with Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar, Nitish Reddy. These are three all-rounders. You're not counting Washington Sundar, but remember that India will play England in the month of July and August. This is not May, in June. May and June, mostly receiving conditions, wet wickets, wet outfields, are difficult to grip the Duke ball. In June and July, most of the flatter surfaces. In June, especially in Headingley, there will be a lot of seam movements. We know India might go with the two pace bowling all rounder Shardul Thakur and Nitish Reddy. I feel team is balanced. One thing can India get hurt with, which is lack of match fitness of Shardul Thakur. He is not played for a while. Even he bowled four no balls in the India against India Lions in 1 over, which shows that he is a bit tentative. He is nervousness in the game, but I'm sure he played the test matches before as well. And being the winning cause in one of the two of the tests he played, Nitish Reddy, promising talent, 22 years of age. After BGT, definitely is done well. One spinner will play in this entire context. Will Ravindra Jadeja will start the first 11. So I feel Jaiswal will be opening with Karun Nair. Definitely is a plus. One thing, I am a fan of Ajinkya Rahane, how he was batted in the IPL and the domestic circuit as well. He could have been in the team. I feel, Rahul, this is could be a one thing India might lack experience in the middle, where the situation will be crunch and we are filled with all stroke players. So that's either India score 550 or 150. My bet is that definitely we might get a serious issue if we are 50 for 5 or 50 for 4. Over to you, Rahul. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You have put up a very critical point, Kunal, which was the inclusion of Pujare Rahane, which is our next discussion point. Uh, I think your team selection was very on my lines only and on our lines. Washington Sundar is something which I'll reserve my comment. I think if Kuldeep is a leg break bowler of a left-handed Chinaman bowler and Jadeja being a left-hand orthodox spinner, if you can understand, one is a Chinaman, one is going from off to leg and one is going from leg to off, then I think we are one, which is my personal feeling, one batsman extra, one seaming all-round extra with Shardul and one spinner extra with Sundar. But that is a debatable thing. So I move on to Rajiv now to discuss this second portion of this selection, where particularly we have three options, which is contentious. Whether Nitish or Shardul, whether Sundar is extra with Kuldeep and Jadeja, which I explained, and whether we are a batter short. So that's how we place the selection to you. Over to you, Rajiv.
Yeah, thanks. So I heard Kunal's comments, and pretty much I feel he was bang on in terms of how he put Shardul, Nitish, and Washington together. And I think that they play the core of how, on one side you have batters and one side you have bowlers. So beach mein fit open. So I'll tell you where the problem is. So when the BGT happened, Border Gavaskar Trophy happened, हमारा प्रॉब्लम ये था कि हम लास्ट 3 टेस्ट मैच स्पेशली एंड मेलबर्न सिडनी ये सब में जो भी हो रहा था वी वुड इनएविटेबली बिकम 40 for 3 और 50 for 3. सो जब तक आप 275 300 नहीं in these circumstances you do not put yourself to get 300 in your first innings or 300 350, you are not putting yourself in a winning position. So which means that you need to play an extra batter, which comes in the form of an all-rounder. So that could be Nitish Reddy, Shardul, or Washington, or all three together also. You don't know. I mean, that's a captain's call. Usually the 11th player is a captain's call. So प्रॉब्लम ये हो जाता है कि जब आप ये ऐसे 2 या 3 लोगों को साथ में भर देते हो तो फिर जो लास्ट के आप 3 बॉलर के साथ खेलते हो तो विच मीन दैट योर रिस्ट स्पिनर कांट कम इन जो भी एंड कुणाल मेड अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट कि जुलाई अगस्त में क्या होता है कि आपका विकेट्स थोड़ा सा ना गर्मी की वजह से थोड़ा सा टाइट हो जाएगा मतलब इट डजंट मीन द सीम विल बी देयर इज अ चांस फॉर गुड स्पिन ऑल्सो राइट. तो ये सब देखते हुए कि हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू हाउ दिस टीम विल फंक्शन इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी टफ कॉल. My thing is the team is good. So, Rohit and Virat have gone. I don't want to get into why they have gone. क्या है क्या नहीं है वो सब नहीं है. टीम सही है. कैप्टनसी भी करेक्ट ही है एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो. Yes, Shreyas Iyer and has put himself on the pecking list, but he was not playing. So उसको कैप्टन नहीं बना सकते आप. और सो टीम काफी यंग है. अब जो है यही है. गुड पार्ट इज दे हैव टेकन 18 members and this 18 members comes from the fact that they wanted more flexibility and more options in the squad. So ठीक है team ठीक है but how they will get the 11 proper 11 is going to be very very tricky and that 11 I think Shubman may not select. It may be Gautam Gambhir is going to select that 11.
I will interrupt you, Raj.
Just
sorry to interrupt you. And this is my direct question to you. Don't you think, since we were
yes,
other day we were discussing 1-to-1 with you, I was discussing, you said 18 is a good member side, and I want your specific intervention in this. Even if we take Shreyas Iyer, आप मान लो कि Shreyas Iyer, okay, contentious issue नहीं है, should not qualify, as of now may not be in the test side. Are we one batter short or not? Because individually,
we are one batter short.
Sudeep, सबसे मैं
we
बात
are one
किया
batter
था,
short. We are one batter short. And
Yes.
I will tell you, Kunal was correct. It is Ajinkya Rahane with whom we are short. Because आप देखो वो जो one off टेस्ट हुआ था 2023 में WTC का टेस्ट हुआ था, we took Rahane and he made 48 49 second innings में भी रन बनाया. He's very critical, right? Because he understands those conditions. But अब नहीं है, so you can't. I mean, see, the whole problem is यहाँ बैठ के बोलना आसान होता है, but somebody who's not in your pecking order उसको लेके आना थोड़ा सा टफ हो जाता है. वही प्रॉब्लम है. बट आई थिंक 18 मेंबर्स के साथ वन बैटर शॉट वन बॉलर शॉट बोलना आई डोंट थिंक इट्स 18 फिर 20 कर लोगे तो भी यही होगा. 18 है स्क्वाड में 18 पीपल है. वॉशिंगटन सुंदर फॉर वॉट एवर इट इज हिज एवरेज इज 47 or 48. सो यार वो he can play as a batter only, right? So देखो my take is it's a new team. It is tough to मतलब बहुत टफ है एक्सपेक्ट करना. but I'm sure they can put up a fight. The fight is how do they, if they bat first, how do they get 300, 350? That's the thing. उसके लिए टीम सही है कि नहीं है वो देखना पड़ेगा, वो 11 करके देखना पड़ेगा. बीजीटी में नहीं किया उन्होंने, and that's the problem we suffered.
I will now close this comment with
Yeah.
both Kunal and Rajiv with a question which I was asking Sagar. I was speaking to Sudeep in the morning. 2002 Headingley, Kunal. 2002 Headingley, Saurav Ganguly captain, Sanjay Bangar, who has never successful as an opener, was sent to open on a green top with a 6-inch grass. 6-inch grass, and he scored 68 in 6 hours. No one speaks in Indian history of Sanjay Bangar. Only people speak is Saurav Ganguly वो सीरीज में हेडिंगली जीत गया इतना ग्रास टॉप में. संजय बंगर 6 घंटे में 68 किया था, सबको पता है. And he held it one end. It was a furious Andrew Caddick and Darren Goff. विकेट ओनली 1 और 2 गिरा. उसके बाद सचिन जैसे ही ग्रास थोड़ा कम हो गया, पिच स्विंग थोड़ा कम हो गया, वी हैड राहुल द्रविड 140, सचिन 118 एंड सौरभ 128. हम लोग वही मैच जीत गया. दैट विजन व्हिच सौरभ शोड, can Shubman Gill at the age of 25 show with this team? Is my final parting question to Rajiv and Kunal. With this team of 18 with Indian experience. Kunal first. At Headingley.
See, remember in Headingley, you remember another, you was actually forgetting the another person who scored 100, which is Mr. Virendra Sehwag, right? So in the first 2 hours, he scored 100. And I might be wrong. But in Headingley, in seaming conditions, Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, there are enough stroke makers. Now you want to play some sheet anchor roles, Karun Nair is the guy who will be playing for you on that. You are missing one good batsman who just scored 100 against England A. KL Rahul. Don't discount him. Sanjay Bangar scored 66. You also forgot another test where Deep Das Gupta scored 63 in the third test, right?
Correct.
Which is 5 hours,
Right.
5 hours battle. Nobody talks about it. We do not speak about Hanuma Bihari's 23 in Sydney. So we only worship the hundreds and 50s. So we don't worship the good critical 30s and extremely critical 40, 48s. So I am seeing in the first test, India will the first session, if India is batting, is very important first session to India to spend in the middle to get a confidence that these young batters can understand and adapt the situation, understand the seaming conditions, and how they apply themselves. It's very important. I am hopeful. If Karun Nair gets a go, you might him say a comeback like an Atapattu what he did for Sri Lanka. I'm sure about it. Over to you, Rahul.
Thanks, Kunal. I understood your clarity. Thank you so much. Rajiv, aapka point on this particular first test at Headingley with this inexperienced team.
Yeah, so my thing is, see, I'll tell you, Shubman Gill has played 3 tests till now in England conditions. 2 या 3 test match ही खेला है. And then his record is not the greatest.
His average is 12. Just wanted to interrupt. His average is 12.
Correct. So we all know that. So the selection itself is going to be done by Gautam Gambhir. But having said that, I think we are not looking at 500, 600. We are looking at 300, 350. Basic thing. I'll take you back to what happened in Adelaide. Adelaide test में क्या हुआ? अभी जो गया वहाँ पे 80 for 1 थे हम लोग. And then KL Rahul and both this fellow Gill, they threw away their wickets at that point of time. I won't say threw away, but it was something not required shots, and where they could have hung in there. And then we know what happened. 150, 160 we folded up, right? So one problem is you're 40 for 3 and 50 for 3. Another problem is even if you take through the first session and then you start also, you are pretty much losing wickets in buckets. So partnerships is the key. It can be done. We have done this before also. Even the last series where we played, which was 2-all in England, if we put up that kind of resistance, we can definitely be in the reckoning. But उसके लिए आपको time spend करना पड़ेगा. And I agree, Karun Nair can be a very big pivotal role. And I think it's already been told that he will play at number 4, which means Gill comes at 3 and then Jaiswal and Ishwaran at 1, 2. So I mean,
I think which is a better choice. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Which is a better choice than Gill going at 4, Rajiv?
Yeah. That we can discuss. I think we are going to discuss the 11.
We are discussing that.
But I'm just saying that it is possible. But as of now, Shubman Gill doesn't give me the confidence that उस टीम को ऐसा करेगा करके. वो confidence नहीं है मेरे पास.
And I go with you. I also don't have the confidence. That's why my question is there.
क्योंकि उसका experience नहीं है. Simple है, experience ही नहीं है. So back to you.
इसमें parting सवाल. See, how deep this discussion is going now. Back to you, Kunal. Do you think itna din tak, till now, Indian cricket has been driven by fearsome captains? Saurav Ganguly, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Rahul Dravid, very soft, but theek hai. Coach was Greg Chappell, but end of the day, he had to go. This team, whether we agree to disagree or disagree to agree, Rohit gone, Virat gone, Ravichandra Ashwin understood the reading on the wall. वो पहले देख लिया दीवार में और हम चले गए गुड बाय करके तो ह्यूमिलेट होने से अपने आप को बचा लिया. Now point is whether Gill, and this question will be to all of you also, Sudeep and Sagar, because I have discussed it with Sagar. Is this a captain's team because Subman is 25 and only 4 years into cricket, or this is Gautam Gambhir's team? This is the final question to both of you. Because especially to Kunal, because he handles HR, nothing to do with other thing, but handling HR. Kunal, is Gautam Gambhir dominate and bulldoze Shubman Gill so that India gets down the line, or Shubman Gill will have his own personality and the captaincy thing will be separate from a coach? Kunal, this will be my final question to you on this.
Yeah. See, Rahul, you understand two dynamics. If a player is a bigger with a bigger records than the captain, definitely he will try to influence. Now, Gautam Gambhir for us as a given two World Cup to India for me. Maybe he might be a very controversial character as a coach, as a player, but he given two ICC trophies to India, 75 and 97 in the finals. Those who have actually been instrumental to win the trophies. Even we praise aloud Mr. MS Dhoni's 91, but last 40 runs comes when Sri Lanka dropped their shoulder. So Gautam Gambhir has got the personality. This is Gautam Gambhir's team. Understand that, because Subman was a choice. Because there's no other choice. Rahul was not consistent in 3 formats. Gill is a most blue-eyed boy of BCCI as of now, because he scored heavily in the beginning, but then his scoring ability has gone down. So we have to seriously look up to him. We should have given him the free hand by saying, Gill, you concentrate on your batting. You as a batsman can contribute more than a captain. But since Bumrah has denied to have the captaincy because of our workload management for 5 tests, India had no choice other than Shubman Gill. I'll be not surprised after 2-3 series, India go back to KL Rahul.
And I agree.
So that's my call, Rahul. But having said that, I am firm believer that it's not about the age. He debuted for India in the age of 19 and became a test captain in 25. Definitely somebody has seen something better in him. Similar goes with Mr. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. After playing for 3 years only for India, he became an Indian captain on the World Cup. And he never captained any side. I have played alongside him for a couple of matches, but I know him. He never captained his Mohanlal's team as well, but he made an Indian captain. So definitely the selectors or the people who are more wiser than us, who are helping the affairs, Agarkar from Agarkar to other selectors, definitely they have seen some bright light in Subman application and captaincy. He's a very quiet and calm captain. He doesn't give expression. He is not a explorer, a very expressive guy. He remains within. He's a calm guy. But rest assured you, he will be a good captain material. We have to trust on our team, trust on our captain. They might lose a series, but we are here not to win a battle. We are here to win a war. So this team will take a shape to be a formidable side in next 2 to 3 years. We have to give the time. We have to patience. Do not this round the clock cricket this forum must not act as any other forum like reactive phase on after every India defeat. We try to criticize, go to the operation table and criticize every performance. We will do, of course, but in a most constructive way. That's the expectation. And I'm sure India will do well in this 5-test series. England will face the same baseball, theory will be applied on them. Trust me, GG is very aggressive on this. Thank you very much. Over to you, Rahul.
I think
You're on mute, Rahul. Rahul, you're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry. I think Rajiv has something to say. Yeah.
Yeah, just the one point I wanted to make. He said that probably KL Rahul would come into the captaincy forum. The thing is, KL Rahul, I think, has made up his mind कि उसको captaincy नहीं करना है. That's why he never took up the captaincy for Delhi Capitals also. तो उसका बनना थोड़ा सा tough है. But you never say no in these circumstances, right? कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. That is one point. Second point is that Shubman Gill is very inexperienced. अभी के लिए तो काफी inexperienced है, so he will draw things from Gautam Gambhir. If they can make a partnership, and at some way, at some point, Gambhir says, you have to run the team, but I will help you transit there. I'll help you go through the journey, and then you take over. That will be a very, very good thing for Shubman Gill. अब वो Gautam Gambhir कितना, how much he can, let that happen is going to be seen. But as of now, I agree with Kunal. It's a Gautam Gambhir driven team, definitely for this particular series.
Yes, it is a Gautam Gambhir team. Thank you very much, Kunal and Rajiv. On the first point, we have had a real good discussion on this team selection. We more or less understand the composition also. One or two places still we'll discuss as we go through. The next point is what Kunal had just briefly touched upon. Is what I will throw open the house for Kunal and Sagar, because Kunal has just spoken. Sagar might take over and then Kunal. This point, Kunal, you want to say something? No, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make one comments on which Rajiv has made very pertinent comment that about the KL Rahul's captaincy. You just remember I got an inside news when BGD was everybody's not doing well. GG offered an captaincy to Virat, and so Virat has said I will not do a captaincy, but somehow he restrained himself. And it's the dressing room news. So Virat Kohli was about to flip the toss for you, and suddenly Board and Gigi spoke, and then it's been taken back. So that was the development. So KL Rahul, yes, he's not interested about taking additional responsibility. He want to focus on his batting, which he does pretty well. I think let's see who emerge as a captain. You never know. Subman is inexperienced, but ability has got the right ability to lead a team. Even Saurav, when Saurav got captain in Nairobi, he was just an 26 years boy. And similar fashion, no experience in the international level, but he did wonders, isn't it? So we are hopeful that
Correct.
Subman also followed footsteps like the others. Thank you very much.
Agreed. Thanks, Kunal. So the next point, we will start off with Sagar and then Kunal. This is a looking forward team. This is a transition team. This is a new team. We all agree. Point to discuss is, could we not get a man who's still 37, but he's also scoring runs in domestic and county, Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. Gautam Gambhir, we know, wanted Pujara in BGT. It was Rohit Sharma who did not want, and Rohit ruled the roost. There is a grapevine that Rohit and Virat had to go because particularly Gautam did not want these two seniors because he was unable to get the team, as Rajiv said, his own way. We are not yet concluding that Gautam Gambhir is Greg Chappell. We should not, because the team time has not come. But there are tendencies and signs where maybe for the betterment of this side, as we are watching from outside, with certain inside news from Kunal and Sagar both and myself. But Cheteshwar Pujara and Rahane for this team, I think with the inexperience of Rohit and Virat, could Pujara and Rahane, one doing well in IPL and domestic, other doing well in county, 37 and 36. Jack Callis has scored a double century at the age of 39. So Sagar, you open up with whether Pujara and Rahane could have played in this team. Over to you, Sagar.
So, if I tell you, my point of view is very simple over here. I would have known everybody, in fact, every cricket-loving Indian who has watched Pujara bat over the last 10 years and maybe Ajinkya Rahane for around 7, 8 years, till he was ignored, were the, if you can say, under the sheet batsmen who basically hung around and was the glue to the team which had actually succeeded. So there was these extremely aggressive guys and alpha males like Rohit and Virat Kohli around. These were the people who used to actually score the tough runs, if you can ask me. So now my question is, we already have a 18-member team, and how many of these 18 members have played in England? Very, very less. Karun Nair, a few because he's played in 2023 and 2024, the counties. Sai has played a bit of it last year. So now the question is, if I bring in Cheteshwar Pujara, who does he then in that case? Do we make a 20-man team or a 90-man team? Is that a possibility? So if you bring in Cheteshwar Pujara, I'm throwing this question out again to the rest of the team panel over here. If you bring in Cheteshwar Pujara first, then Where does he play? So he plays at number three. So if he plays at number three, that means if you have taken Karun Nair because of his exploits over last 4 5 years in the domestic circuit, do you say, okay, whatever you've scored, we can't take you because there's someone who's actually playing well in the county circuit? So that's my question back to you because I have my theory which says I would have loved to, but no. Chiteshwar Pujara, he's actually, if you ask me, has gone beyond his expiry date when it comes to international cricket. May sound rude, but the fact of the matter is he is as old as maybe Virat Kohli today. So does he have the same eyesight? We saw at least even when he played in the BGT, last BGT where we won, he was taking a lot of hits. So we were clapping and saying, okay, great. This guy is taking around 15, 20 balls on his body. But as a batsman, do you want to see that? Do you want to see 15 balls, 4 balls hitting your head, 15 balls hitting your chest? I don't think. And with England, with swinging conditions, I think I think Kunal or Rajiv made a point. I think KL Rahul will be that glue and that blocker to start off with if you start off the innings for India. Because trust you me, starting third test, the pitches will get extremely flat. Because to whatever informations I have with my friends staying in London, it is extremely hot and sultry in London. And if you see the ongoing India A match also, it was swinging only for the first 2 hours, and post the first 2 hours on a green top in Northampton, the ball stopped swinging. It was swinging, but it wasn't prodigious. It looked treacherous for the first 2 hours. So again, Ajinkya Rahane, very good batsman, very aggressive in the current mold. Did I would not say a very good thing, but okayish batting in the IPL was very good in SMAT, which is Said Mushtaq Ali. But again, if you take him, who do you place him in against? So you take Sai Sridhar and say, no, we can't play you because we have a senior man and Ajinkya Rahane. And what if, now the final question, what if Ajinkya Rahane and or Cheteshwar Pujara, after being picked, does not score runs in the first 4 innings? Who do you then bring up? Because you've not, if you take those two, you're not taking Karun Nair, you're not taking Sai Sridhar. Then who do you fall back on?
So, according to you, Sagar, it's a good decision to drop the two old warhorse.
I would go by what it is because if you have made a bold decision of taking out three of the senior most players with even Mohammad Shami, I think we've not spoken about him. If you have decided to not take him, okay, there's a debatable question that he wasn't fit and all that, which I completely agree. He may not be. I don't know where his fitness was. In fact, he wasn't playing in the last part of the IPL also.
IPL.
So that may be true. But if you've taken a bold call and if you want to make a transitional team, it is not about this England series only. It is a 2 year phase when we actually culminate into a final again somewhere in 2027. Now, in this cycle, the two most important away matches or series which India will play is this one, which is the first one, and then the New Zealand one, which are the most challenging ones, I would say. India plays New Zealand something around end of 2026. So by that time frame, it is we are saying 1.5 years of this team. So my question was, it is a good to your question. The answer would be yes, it is a good decision because if you take these two people, these two batsmen, and fortunately or unfortunately, if they fail, then where do you go back to? And what do those new people coming in? So if say I'll give you a scenario, Rahul. You take Cheteshwar Pujara. Cheteshwar Pujara does not score in the first two tests. You don't have another option because you've not taken Karun Nair in that case. Then you start chipping and chopping and you start thinking of bringing KL Rahul down and put the original opener, I would also believe in Shubman Gill to be opening. So those kind of scenarios would not have been a nice one. And think of it, how Karun Nair will feel. So you don't get to play in England, and by the time these guys fail, you are supposed to come back and start scoring runs again. So it's not a good scenario if you say if you've taken a bold call of dropping the seniors and making it a transitional period, let that be. so be it. Let's if that means we lose a few tests here and there, it's so fine. But what's the point in taking one step back if you've taken a bold step ahead?
Fair enough. Nice one, Sagar. Kunal, your call on Rahane and Pujara. You seem to have a soft corner for Rahane in your first part of your discussion. So back to you. Pujara and
See,
Rahane, yes or no?
it's not yes no answer. It is to understand where I was coming from. Rahane, I didn't utter a word on Pujara. I agree with Sagar that Pujara had got an expiry date in the international as an international cricketer because he has not evolved much. See, in the current modern Test cricket, when you score 100 ball 20, you're soaking the pressure. You're building a foundation. That's fine, but you choke the runs as well. So even if you say by lunch you are 60 for one, suddenly 2 wickets makes you 60 for three. So suppose an alternative you score runs and you are 100 for one, then you are 100 for three. Those makes difference. So definitely Pujara is a simple no. I'm agree with Sagar on Rahane. Uh, my question is that who will bat at number five? We talk about till four. We talk about uh, Iswaran and Abhimanyu Iswaran opening up the batting. Number three is Gill. Four is Karuna, and maybe KL Rahul is five. That's what you're thinking. Who is six? Rishabh Pant. Seven, Reddy. Eight, Shardul Washington. Nine, so on. I feel still Rahane has got a space because Abhimanyu Ishwaran, no offense, he's a cricketer from Bengal, a fellow lovely cricketer, scored a lot of runs. But go back to his Ranji Trophy scores. He never scored big in from quarterfinals to finals. He scored against a lot of opponents. Yes, recently he scored 100 against an international visiting opponent. That's fine. But Abhimanyu Ishwaran definitely deserves a chance. But if we promote Rahul as an opener, then if you could have picked Rahane, then the Rahul is an opener and Rahane at six, which definitely Select has not agreed for. That's why they have not picked Rahane. But Rahane, with his experience and flexibility, how he's batting in this IPL, because the skill is important. It's not about the age 36, 38, 39. It's not about age. Michael Hussey debuted for India at 30. For Australia is 30 and then he rocked the world. So it's not about age, it's about your mental fitness.
Just a point.
Still,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just a second, Kunal. Just a second. So you think with the same age issue, Rahane is okay, Pujara is not okay?
it's not about cricket. Is not about age. See,
No, I
Mahendra Singh
agree.
Dhoni still have the fastest stamping in the world in the age of 44. Officially, you read it 40, but it's 44, 42. But he does stamping in less than 12 seconds. So it's a fact. So it's not with the age he's got slowed down. It's a skill, Rahul, because cricket is largely definitely on a fitness, and you cannot question the fitness because he's playing the shorter version of the game, which requires much more fitness. A 20 overs game, a travel, and then next day game. So it takes a toll on a body, but still he's representing as a captain. What happens, when you do not pick up this experience in your side? Pujara is fine. You can drop him. One experience batter. If you cumulatively play, lays down the numbers of the number of tests played by these young people, it might not cross 50. The oldest guy who has got maximum tests is K. Rahul. Even he is not very established. So tentativeness among the lineup will be there. I'm not saying you have to pick Rahane and Pujara without this. The team is incomplete. Like we have not picked Shami in spite of his good bowling. I feel he was a match fit. He could have given a go in the English condition when Jasprit Bumrah is around. Then he could have got adequate rest. We picked a Prasidh Krishna. He's not an England kind of a bowler for me. He's a kind of an Australian or South African wicket bowler.
I agree. I agree.
But he might do wonders. See, they all play cricket at the highest level. With the respect to that, they've got the ability to definitely take wickets. But definitely appropriate as a situation, definitely demands Rahane's inclusion. But as Sagar quite rightly said, if they could have flopped or not scored runs, then what? So Indian selection committee has taken a brave decision. So what could have been a perceived story after two tests, they want to try it from the 5 test series from the beginning. They are ready to take any challenges. Fine. If we fail, we fail. If we succeed, then what? So that's the approach in game you take. When you go to the ground, you never thought of that I'll get out. He said, I'll play my shots. I will judge the merit of the ball and I play my shot. And then you get the runs. You cannot get out from the dressing room with the mindset that I'll get out if the ball is moved too much. I'll get out if I score these runs. If I do not score the runs, my team will. So you cannot go with the negative thoughts. So Indian selection committee actually taken a very brave call, and I said we ready to face any consequences if the future is bright. Might be you might wonder. We are not taking this name, but trust me, Asdeep Singh can be your match winner in this English condition for first two test. He's throwing the ball late. He's a left-hander. He's throwing the ball in both ways, in and out. And I'm sure he gave a lot of trouble to the Englishman. He played a county cricket before last year as well. He bowled beautifully, wonderful spells. I'm eager to see him in the first 11 with Akashdeep, Bumrah, and Arshdeep. Three pacers for me.
That's what Ricky Ponting said, that take out Siraj and get Arshdeep.
Yeah.
But for him, Siraj is a little short on England. Because the pitch short.
You are adding variation. When Arshdeep is coming in, you are adding variation. This is a left-hand bowler. Either Akash or Bumrah, these are right-hand bowlers. You got one left-hander, one left-hand spinner, and then one off spinner if required. So you got a variety of bowler which can definitely not able to get the lot of time to difficulty of the batsman to get settled in. And I'm sure what you asked the question that Pujara, no Pujara, Ajinka, not no Ajinka is not that simple. Definitely, I pray that Ishwaran Gill, Abhimanyu, Jaswal, Karun Nair score heavily because they have played Platt, Evidence, Matt, or in domestic trophies. Karun Nair is a good bet. Let's see. He scored this 300 against the same opponent in domestic in India, but the ball is not the same. But who knows? He played 89 in 34 balls in IPL in his comeback game. So he's desperate. And when the batsman gets desperate, he can do the magic. Trust me, Rahul.
The panel is divided. Kunal is a little in favor of the old horse. Sagar says
not
good
old
to
horses.
go with the new type.
I only say Ajinka Rahane because he still has the skill.
Correct. So one of the two. We are discussing Pujara Rahane. You're saying Rahane should be there. Sagar says no. Good to forget.
To bridge that experience gap, what we're talking about, Subban 3 test,
correct,
this 4 test. So you need experience a bit. Sometimes, not always.
We have a very good panel now hotting up. Thank you, Kunal. Now we move on to the third portion where Rajiv anyways comes in. The third question we have is for Sudeep and Rajiv, and I'll start off with Sudeep and then to Rajiv. And it is the corollary of the second question. If the panel decides that, okay, as Sagar said, good to go. We don't need Pujara, we don't need Rahane. It's a team going forward. We are not looking back. Like they said to Riddhiman Saha, because he's a good friend of mine. We'll not look at Riddhi, Rishabh Pant, then KL Bharat at that point of time, no Dhruv Jurel. But we decided that we'll not play with Riddhiman because his batting is not good. Keeping se nahi chalega. You have to be a batsman, then keeper, like Adam Gilchrist. Indian team is saying, Pujara Rahane, tons of runs, nahi chalega. Now, the question to Rajiv and then Sudeep is, if you have decided to do away with your team, considering that your captain is only 25 and played 32 test matches, your highest experienced player is Rahul with 58 tests on a batting side. Jadeja has played 86 tests, but he's an all-rounder and is not in the top 6. With such a frail batting lineup, is it prudent to go with this new team? Rajiv.
Okay, so I'll first answer the Rahane bit, if I can just add a bit.
Sure. Please.
So the thing is, see, now Test cricket is very simple. It is, and even T20 cricket is like, so they are playing in phases, right? So your WTC final is going to be held in 2027, which means that this selection committee or this entire management, they don't see Pujara and Rahane lasting till 2027. So that's why they took that bold call, and that's why Rahane is not there. I personally feel Rahane had played, and that's why I bought this topic of him playing that one WTC test in England, because he can make a difference. But then he should have played till now. So when he's not in the pecking order, it's difficult for somebody to get picked. So I think it's a fair call because I also don't see them. I mean, Rahane at least is in the mix, but Pujara is definitely not in the mix. So there is no point in talking about him. He's a good valued guy. Tomorrow you want to appoint him as a consultant or whatever for any reason, it's a fair thing to do because he has guts. You have to admit that he has guts. He understands this format of the game. So maybe you can look for a role for him somewhere, but not as a player for sure. Now comes to the point that can this team turn it around and all. So
Yes,
let's
without
pick.
Pujara and Rahane. Yes.
Yeah, so I think Pujara and Rahane anyways are not playing for the last 1 year or so. So there is no, they are not the ones who are driving this team. See, trust me, when Virat said that I'm not going to captain this test team, they had the option of making Rahane the test captain and let the team go with it. They did not do it at that time because they wanted a far aggressive captain and they put Rohit in charge of it. Rohit, in fact, a couple of series as a captain fired very well, especially the one last year against England where Ollie Pope came and scored that century and they got to, they won the first test. It was Rohit who took it upon himself to turn it around and let it done. So it was very aggressive and very good captaincy.
But
The
Rajiv,
same
just
Rohit.
interrupting you, just one sec. In BGT, just interrupting you, when BGT, when you said about the Rohit captaincy, I'm also a great fan of Rohit. But when Kohli didn't play the 3 test matches in 21 series because of his paternity, he came back. It was Rahane who captained the side in that historic win.
Correct.
So
That's
everyone,
what. So that's what
Rahane
I'm
was a
saying.
good captaincy material. Then why not?
No. So hear me out here. Because Rahane was dropped before this incident happened. So if it was continuous, then Rahane would have automatically become the test captain. But he got dropped, and now they did not want to go behind, and that's why they appointed Rohit as a captain. Personally, I felt that Rahane should have been made the captain. But they did not do it. They went with Rohit. Rohit produced some good results also, but toward the end, how he tapered off. You saw how lousy captaincy it was there in BGT, right? Rohit was just not there at all.
Yeah, his batting fell off and his captaincy fell
Yeah,
off, both.
everything fell up. Yeah, fair enough. So my take is, so let's not talk about. There is no point talking about Rahane, no point talking about Pujara, no point talking about Rohit Sharma, because these three were anyways not part of your test. They will take your test side ahead. So they are not deciding anything. The people who mattered for this series are two people. One was Virat Kohli, and second is Mohammad Shami. Now Virat Kohli, for in the BGT series, we saw a lot of technical flaws, specifically on the offside, to somebody like Scott Boland telling ki, we know that he will go for the shot. So we will give him some things towards the leg side on his patch so that he gets his feet moving, and suddenly we'll throw up this off stump line, the fourth stump line, so that he just nicks it and he goes out because he has a problem there. That was the kind of planning which Australia did. So but I still think Virat is important. His experience was important, and he leaves a dent here. Shami is unfit for a very long time. So he's unfit now also. There is no point in talking about it.
No, the board said he's fit, but he's not fit to play in test matches. His body
Correct.
cannot hold for
Yeah,
5 days.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about test cricket only. Yeah. So for all practical reasons, these are the two who could have made some difference in this series against England, right? So when they are not there, there's no point. Can one man make a difference? No, I don't think so. It's a team sport. The only problem here is that the others are who are playing the test matches and all, suddenly the experience lineup goes down. But that's the challenge. That's how you make up and come up the curve. So I think it's fine because even if they lose the series, it's the start of this WTC cycle. So by the time they come towards 2 years and all, like Sagar was mentioning, the New Zealand series itself is 1.5 years. They would have played enough number of home tests. They would have had some runs in the belt. Don't forget that Shubman Gill in home series has picked up he now knows how to take care of home test series. It's only outside away matches he is struggling, right? So I'm sure he can take care of it, and that's the call which the selectors have taken, and I'm okay with it. I'm pretty much
So,
okay with
Rajiv,
this.
you are just summing up in saying young team, inexperienced team, अगर हर भी जाए, WTC काफी बड़ा है, बाद में जाके
Yeah,
make up कर लेगा. So you're
correct.
saying they will make it up.
He'll make it up,
Okay.
and I agree with Sagar. थर्ड टेस्ट से भाई ये इतना स्विंग और सीम नहीं होने वाला है. So India is having a realistic chance, and we will talk about it as we come. What are the strengths and weaknesses of this team?
Absolutely.
अगर प्रॉपरली गाइड किया जाए ये टीम की. पर्थ टेस्ट मैच जीता ना भाई, 3-0 न्यूजीलैंड से व्हाइट वॉश होके पर्थ टेस्ट मैच जीता ना. तो ऐसा नहीं है. दिस इंडियन टीम इज वन ऑफ द क्वालिटी साइड्स. लेट्स रिमेंबर दैट. तो करेगा, करके दिखाएगा वो.
Ekdam. Thanks, Rajiv. Sudeep, we now bring you into first time.
Thanks,
Without
Rahul.
Pujara
Yeah,
Rahane, the panel model is discussed, we go
yeah,
forward.
yeah. And
How
I
it
think
is going to affect?
I
Yeah.
fully agree. I've heard all the panelists and they have put up very valid points. And I fully agree, that, this is basically a young team and selectors have taken a bold step, you know, for building up a young team. Or they have definitely have a very long-term plan. Keeping this in mind, they have built up this team. And I don't think Rahane and Pujara can fit into today's context, actually is because, see, we have to be a bit patient with the team which has been bit selected. You cannot expect, very, overnight, some outstanding results. Let's rather go slowly and build up a team for the future. And I think this is the core team, with which a strong future team can be built over the years. Because this is a WTC, I understand, is that I think 2.5 years process. No, if I'm not mistaken. So I think, as validly pointed out, Pujara and Rahane, it would have been difficult, on both on fitness and form levels, whether they could have survived this 2 year period, grinding period. So I think this is a very, I think the selectors have been quite right in selecting this team. The only one point which maybe they could have done with an extra batsman. So here I would like to point that, see, I would have always taken Kuldeep in the 18 team. Kuldeep would always be in my side because he carries an X factor and he can he's a match winner on his day. So I would have, if at all we needed an extra batsman, I would have, instead of Washington Sundar, I would have gone for an extra batsman, maybe Shreyas Iyer or, but Rahane and Pujara, I feel that it's time to look ahead. And I think this is the correct decision. And let's give them some time because they will need some time to gain confidence and, to fit into this group of international cricket. So this is a right decision by the selectors.
So, Sudeep, you think that even India, as I asked Rajiv, in India, this is a 5 test series. India loses 1-3 or 1-4.
Yeah.
I do not see, personally, I do not see India winning more than one. Personally, India
Ah,
might surprise me. So,
ah,
India losing 1-3 or 1-4, just hear me out, last 1-3 or 1-4. And then the cycle is at 2027 with India playing another series of 5 test match. I think in the end of 26 or beginning of 27, India plays Australia. I think, if I'm not wrong, a 5 test. India plays New
Australia, yeah.
Zealand a 3. So,
Ah,
Australia, they play 5, correct, in 27.
27
So,
they play at home,
home. They
Australia.
play at home. Australia, correct. So you are saying what Rajiv said. So India loses this series badly. Even then, with an inexperienced team, you think this team will go and qualify for the WTC final? So they,
I think,
with this
no,
team, with this team.
this qualifying for the WTC final is a different aspect. Right now, see, it is of course very important, but at the same time, this
Yeah.
is important that we build a strong team for the future. And for that, we need to look ahead instead of looking back. Rahane and Pujara would have been a backward step. It's my personal view. Others may disagree, but I think overall I'm quite happy with this team. This is the best possible 18. Maybe there are a little bit of couple of selections which could have gone the other way,
Yeah,
but let's
couple of
not
selections we
get
all
into
think
this.
is a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like an extra batsman instead of a spinner. But and
Yeah.
mind you, this is this from third test onwards, as Rajiv ji and everyone correctly pointed out. I would always pick Kuldeep in the first 11 because he can be a dangerous proposition in those conditions.
Right. Thanks, Sudeep. We understood the viewpoint, both Rajiv and Sudeep. So we've got it. I think that panel more or less agrees, and I personally also agree that we should move ahead, irrespective of the result, because we are building a team. Fair enough. Point taken. Thanks. The next question is something a very burning question, and a lot of people are asking. That is the why I have got Sagar and Sudeep to handle this. To Sagar first. We have a player who's the captain, whose average is 12 in England, Shubman Gill. We have a coach whose average is 13 in England, Gautam Gambhir. Sunil Gavaskar was very, very, very critical on Gautam Gambhir in Australia also. Person who doesn't know how to cook is made a chef of ITC Royal. Right? Sagar Chaudhary, in real life, the last boy of the class is now asked to lead the class. Subman Gill is a failure in England. As Rajiv said, we all know the data is in front of us. 35 tests, 1893 runs, 59 innings, 35. He probably becomes captain at a time when his average is below 40. Saurav Ganguly became captain when his average was 47 in test matches in 2000. So it tapered off. Normally, a person becomes captain when he's at the peak. Shubman Gill, as Kunal rightly said, is a blue-eyed boy. Accepted. I have personally been advocating his captaincy for a very long time. People who are in Facebook, you know Sagar. My question to you, Sagar, then to Sudeep is two failure, two people failing in England. Can two people who are failures become good motivators to drive the team? Sagar Chaudhary.
First and foremost, let's take it head on. In our team, this is the first time after I would say around around 30 years, I would say, that an Indian team will be actually managed, captained, and the face of the team would be the coach. Let's accept it. This
Absolute.
is
Absolute.
after 30 years. So if after 30 years, if we have someone who is like who will be leading the team, it's not Shubman Gill, first and foremost. Let's be very, very honest about it. Definitely for the next two series, Shubman Gill will not be he will be the leader only in the field, making the field changes and bowling changes. And in most probabilities, he'll get a year from the coach also over there. कहाँ पे किस bowler को खिलवाना है. So because we've seen that happening with when I mean we've seen it with Ashish Nehra. He's the most animated manager coach in IPL I've ever seen. He never stops talking
Absolute.
from the
Absolute.
but anyways, is that good, bad, ugly? That's a separate question. But my answer to the first question that you have, while I have said that let's take it head on and accept that the coach will be the face of the team, but this is also true. The coach will not be batting for the team. So he will not be scoring any runs, number one. He will not be bowling for the team, which anyways, Gautam Gambhir won't. So his score of 13 or 14 or 15 does not make any importance to me. Why? Because I have seen a lot of coaches, Bob Woolmer and a lot of them, who had zero background in cricket in terms of scores and whatever. Gary Stead, one of the most successful coaches for New Zealand, had nothing in terms of, if you ask me, other than first class cricket, but was an amazing, amazing coach. So for the coach, it is important, and more so with an Indian team, you need to have a very, very alpha, strong alpha. Because trust me, say this: English media and the Australian media and South African media, whenever we are there in future, would have eaten this team up have we had a very weak coach or a person who could not manage the media. So yes, Gautam Gambhir's scores of his England and whatever will not be an important factor to me. What will be important is what Shubman Gill is. Shubman Gill's score as of now, as we have said, Shubman Gill have only played, I think, three tests in England, if I'm
Three
not
tests. Three
mistaken.
tests.
Correct me
Three.
if I'm
Three.
wrong.
Three. Three.
So
Three.
if he has played only three tests, let us give him a benefit of the doubt because we are only talking about, again, I'm telling you, everyone in this panel this. This is a failure. A Shubman Gill's failure can be okay with me if he does it in the first test because that will be a swing condition. It'll the pitch will be soft. There will be dents in the pitch. Mind you, me, if India bats first and even scores a 250 over there in Leeds, what will happen is the pitch will have a lot of dents in the pitch because it has been raining, it has been cold. The only place in England in the last 2 months which has been raining, actually, to be very honest with you. So there will be dents in the pitch, and batting on that pitch on the fourth day or the fifth day or the fourth innings would be treacherous with the ball. And if you have a Jadeja over there in that lineup, he can make a lot. And Bumrah, by the way, don't forget him. He can make a lot of difference. So how much will I will completely discount for your answer. I will completely discount our coach Gambhir on this matter because he is only supposed to lead the team outside the ground, not inside the ground. Number one, can he handle the media? Yes, he can handle the media. Is he aggressive? Yes, he's aggressive, ultra aggressive at times. In fact, I would say the so-called baseball theory can only be in theory matched by only Gautam Gambhir because of his aggressiveness. Shubman Gill, let him fail. I'll tell you upfront over here. He'll fail in the first innings. He'll not score anything altogether, maybe 120, 130 runs in the first four innings. But come Lords, come Kennington Oval, and come Manchester, things will change. Because trust me, I've been following the county season over there. The pitches are as flat as Baroda, by the way. You have to actually keep a lot of grass over there. You have to have a lot of sudden cloudy weather for the whole thing to change, the narrative to change. Yes, it'll be tough. He will fail, but I guess let him wait and watch and see, because you never know. Because as just to answer on a humorous side, giving somebody a responsibility actually makes that person much more stronger. So nobody was married when we were born, right? So once you get married and you go through the life struggles, and with a person trying to put pressure on you, being your wife, who's your wife, you somehow try to navigate it, and we have managed it, all of us, and all of us manage it. So let him manage it. Let him treat this. Uh, I would say the first 4, 5 series as his wife, and treat him, and he's not married. So let him treat and let him get absorbed into how to handle the adverse conditions of batting, maybe mature. This will only be because you can't have a ready-made. This let's be very honest. Mahendra Singh Dhoni wasn't. You can't have a ready-made captain of an Indian team. You can be a ready-made captain of an Australian team, New Zealand team, England team. People over there will not even follow you. Here it's a religion. Here it's a religion. You will not have the perfect captain. So let's accept, let's take it on the face value. Let him go, let him fail. If he fails, let the management take the call. Whoever has backed him to take this mantle.
So, Sagar, you think that two people who are not good cooks enough can have a good meal cooked? That's what you say.
I'm not saying two good cooks who are not even cooks. I'm saying Gautam Gambhir, it's a bit different over here. Gautam Gambhir is not supposed to bat for India in England. He is only supposed to manage, he's only supposed to handle the media and the media pressures and the
But
questions.
but the point is, you also say, and we all know, and you agree also this point that he's an alpha male, and he's not been able
Yeah,
to dominate in BGT. He could not in the initial phase of his career, where he was so
yeah.
important because Rohit, Virat, and Ashwin was there. So
Hmm.
how he has navigated them to push into retirement, or they retired feeling uncomfortable, is separate. Now that he has everything under control, then if he's everything under control, what he wants, and he wanted Shubman Gill as a captain, which came out in the newspaper much before, then the question of not asking Shubman Gill, I mean, a coach not playing in the field doesn't work, because he is going to dominate everything. He's going to dominate selection. He might push Shubman Gill back to number 6 one day. That is as good as making up opener bat at 6. He might ask Karuna to open. We have seen eccentricities when procrastinations of
Completely agree
Gambhir.
with you, Rahul, on that. But my only
Hmm.
point is our coach over here, Gambhir, he will not be batting and scoring a run. He may push Shubman Gill to 6, as you say. He may. I mean, he will not currently, but he may. But my only question is, he will not bat. So his average of 13 or 16, whatever it was in England, is I don't think will make a difference over here, because the coach will not bat. The person who has to bat is the Karun Nayars, is the Jaiswals, is the Rahuls, and also Shubman Gill. So
So
Shubman Gill, while I agree to your one point, Shubman Gill has to know how to bat in England rather than the coach, which is Gambhir, to know how to manage the team in England. I mean, that's how I will look at it.
So you say if Rahul Dravid was the coach here and Shubman the captain, same thing would have happened.
It's the same thing,
For you, it's the
because
same thing that. So
yeah,
you are saying Shubman Gill is independent of Gambhir, but you only said in the last point that this team is driven by the coach for the last first 2 years at least.
I'm saying it will be driven by the coach. Again, I'm saying it will be driven by the coach, but the coach will not be batting. He will not score the runs. For the scoring of the run, when Shubman Gill is facing a Bryden Cars, or for that matter, or Jamie Overton, or for that matter,
Josh
Jamie
Dunn.
Potts, or whoever is playing works, Gambhir will not come and take his stance. He will have to know how to manage it. That's my only point is.
That's
So,
debatable. Okay.
hmm,
Fair enough.
He
I
has
got your
to
point.
he has to he has to make his own call of how to navigate this problem. My only
Okay.
thing is that.
Okay. Uh, Inconclusive still. Sudeep, your calls on two bad cooks cooking to make it a good food.
This is, well, uh, the first thing I want to say that I fully agree
Sudeep,
with
can you speak a
Sagar.
bit louder?
Yeah,
I
can
can't
you
hear
hear
the
me now?
little, I
Can you
think,
hear
yeah.
me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah,
point
yeah.
which I
Sure,
would
sure,
like to
sure,
say
sure,
that
sure.
this is, I fully agree with Sagar that the Gambhir's past failure as a batsman, that will not count his coaching tenure in England. Because ultimately a coach is always as good as his team. That is what we have heard so far. So the ultimately Shubman Gill has to perform so that for us, to make a mark in this entire series, Shubman Gill has to perform with the bat. Only point I would like to say regarding Gambhir, that we all know that he has got a lot of different kinds of personality problems and other things, which I don't want to go into the details. But it is how well he nurtures the young guns. That is what is going to count because we are going to face a lot of challenges, and both in terms of the form and weather conditions and different kinds of. And so, how well he instills confidence in the players, that is what is going to count in the end. And I'm not sure how well he's going to do it because see, IPL mentorship is one thing, and coaching an Indian national team, Indian cricket team at the national level, these are two different ball games. And so
And that is
it
what
is
was evident against New Zealand and BGT also.
yeah,
That's what
given
everyone
given the
said.
chance, and in fact, I mean, you may be aware, you all may be aware, Gambhir was never the first choice as a coach. There were a lot of people had refused. VVS Lakshman, they had first requested VVS Lakshman coach the Indian team, which I think he refused. And there was a couple of foreign candidates also. So that did not materialize. So it was more of a compromise candidate, Gautam Gambhir. Uh, we can only hope for the best. That uh, I only hope that he has got a lot of attitude and ego problems. How well he can, I mean, mold the team into a fighting unit outside the ground, of course. And that will be that we have to wait and watch. It's too early days because he has got the team what he wanted. Now it is up to him to mold the team into a winning unit. That's all I think I wanted to say.
Yeah, so here I would just like to put in something. In fact, this is what when I was telling the whole thing, and to some extent, when I said that it is the team who has to do it, it is not the coach. By that, what I mean, I'll rephrase the whole thing again. I was thinking how to put it. So now what happened is BJT, and before that, the New Zealand series, India lost. So once they lost, and obviously with the aging stars, he phased out, or maybe retirements were placed, and the retirements happened of the senior guys. Now he has got a team. That is, when I say he, it is Gambhir has got a team which he wanted, the type of team he wanted, and also the captain he wanted. Now my thing is, it is not about if India does not do well in the next 2 or 3 series, it will not be a pressure on Shubman Gill. If India does not do well in the next 2 or 3 series, we may have a scenario where Gautam Gambhir may get changed. So that's exactly what I'm saying. But my whole point
Correct.
around what I was saying is, it's not about Gautam Gambhir. It is about the players playing. It is about Shubman Gill playing. Gautam Gambhir can do his antics and answer whatever he wants to answer to the media. He can do his backroom stuffs. By the way, if I mean, I'm sure all of you all have got it. Already, one thing which Gautam Gambhir did not want has actually come back to him. That is T. Dilip as a fielding coach. So, what is happening is with his aggression and whatever he had wanted, the BCCI has also slowly started putting pressure back on him. He said, okay, fine, you do not want a fielding coach, but who's your fielding coach? Do you have a Ryan Tendershate with your team? No, you don't have. Do you have a Jonty Rhodes in your team? No, you don't have. Were you a good fielder? No, you don't. Did you know how to field in the gully or slips? No slips, no. So who's your fielding coach? So the BCCI got T Dilip back. So my it's a catch-22 situation. It's not about the team. It's not about, trust me. Say I can vouch for it. We can also in the future podcast we will be seeing and discussing on this. It is not Gautam Gambhir who will be. It is, sorry. It is not Shubman Gill who will be under pressure even if he does not perform two or three. It will be Gautam Gambhir, because Gautam Gambhir's head is on the line when he has said, "I do not want the three seniors. I do not want Mohammad Shami, and I want these new players who I can manage and dominate." And now that if he cannot get the results, if he, God forbid, he does not get the results, and in most probabilities in England he will not, if he does not get the results, that is where BCCI will come in hard on Gautam Gambhir. He may be a very, very strong fellow in the BCCI circles, but at the end of the day, BCCI also runs on a, it may be a NGO type of an organization which says that we do not do any profit from it. But trust me, BCCI is the most richest and the most profitable organization in the world in terms of cricket. So if the Indian test team does not and loses, say for example, giving you a scenario, India loses 4-0 with test not leading into the fourth day, there will be huge pressure on Gautam Gambhir. That was my point.
Thanks. I agreed. Because at the end of the day, the buck will stop at numbers. Already, I think BGT, he was very lucky. He was probably given a hand on this point that if he wins the Champions Trophy, he will get a leeway, which he got. But then again, of course, Test match being the ultimate pinnacle, and I think Indian BCCI did not take it too well that it didn't qualify for the WTC finals. I
Yeah.
agree with you. This could be the last lease of life for
And,
Gautam Gambhir, given the fact that he wants
uh,
full control on the team. Before
yeah,
the
and his
question I move
tenure
on, I
has
think
been
Sagar.
dismal, absolutely dismal tenure.
Yeah, absolutely dismal. So I'll move to Rajiv before the next question because he has something to ask. He's put a hand up. So over to you, Rajiv.
No, only one thing, which very good points by Sagar and Sudeep. Both were good points. So the only thing, as I said, see that the teams which do well is always a captain's team. A captain's team, specifically with India, a captain's team is the one which always does well in a longer run. So Shubman Gill today has the as an issue with or a challenge with regards to experience, and he'll learn. So the thing is that it is now up to Gautam Gambhir how he runs this team and how well can he transition from him and saying, you know what, at some point of time I will become the backroom staff and you are the one who's going to lead this entire thing. Now वो बोलना आसान होता है कि ना बोल दिया करके, but वो करके दिखाना पड़ता है, which is what Ravi Shastri mastered in, that where he ensured that he was part of the man management and he let others speak. So, for example, the last test which happened in 21 in Gaba, where we won that famous win at Brisbane, he was the man who was putting the 11 bodies together. कि 11 लोग खेल लें बॉस करके. But ultimately, it was Rahane who took the call. It was Rahane who took the call on the field, right? So वो balance जब आएगा ना तब सही होगा. And that's why Rahul Dravid had such a great working relationship with Rohit, because he knows, which Gary Kirsten also did, he knows where to draw the line. But the man who really mastered it was Ravi Shastri, because he had alpha males everywhere, but he knew how to put his support. उसने तो मतलब अपने फील्डिंग कोच, बॉलिंग कोच सबको भगाया उसने. बोला बॉस तुमको ये करके दिखाना है, to an extent where Vikram Rathore made presentations for these guys on what are the things you need to do, right? So Gambhir today, I agree. I mean, he had a very bad this thing series of 3-0 whitewash. यार कौन होम सीरीज में 3-0 whitewash, क्या बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग.
And that
कोई
happened,
कुछ
Rajiv, after 2012.
हाँ, so
After 13
whitewash,
years, we lost a whole whitewash.
2-1 भी नहीं हारे नहीं है, whitewash 3-0. So उस पर किसी का कुछ नहीं बिगड़ा ना, राइट? क्योंकि वो इमीडिएटली हम लोग बीजीटी भाग गए थे तो कुछ हुआ नहीं. बट नाउ इट्स नॉट दैट वे. सो यू हैव टू बी बेटर. गंभीर बेटर वॉचेस आउट, क्योंकि उसको सब मिल गया है. उसको टीम भी मिल गया है, सब कुछ मिल गया है. ये दो तीन लोग जो रोना धोना कर रहे थे उनको भी भगा दिया. He better delivers now. He better delivers.
Absolutely. I think his
Otherwise,
neck is on the line.
Shubman Gill is not in the pecking for having any. उसके
I
ऊपर
also feel.
ये तलवार नहीं गिरेगा, पहला गंभीर पे गिरेगा.
And because he's too young, people will say give him time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He
And
will
then
get
उसके बाद
time.
home test series सारा कुछ ना कुछ
Home
तो
test,
करके जीत ही
and
जाएंगे
people
वो.
will forget. People will forget this
Yeah,
loss.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. Thank you for Rajiv.
And I
Now I
also
need
believe that
Kunal
under
back.
the present circumstances, Shubman Gill is the best choice because there are very little options, very few options actually for captaincy at the moment. Is what I think also. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah, agreed.
Thanks.
So we have
Thanks.
agreed on
Yeah.
this point that it is Gautam Gambhir whose neck is on the line. Agreed. Point number 5, in which I think Kunal will have a very, very sharp point. Mohammad Shami absent. Bumrah playing 3 tests. Is India on the back foot already before playing the series? Point number 1. Hot English summer, 21 degrees at Lord's today, and at Manchester, I can see the temperature. Kuldeep, as Sudeep rightly said, Kuldeep. First, I will go to Kunal and then Sudeep. Shami's absence, Bumrah playing 3 tests, how it affects India, and Kuldeep. If we see the 3 spinners play club, Sundar as a batsman and then as a spinner, and Kuldeep. Kunal, your take on why Shami is absent, why Bumrah plays 3, we understand, and Kuldeep. Over to you, Kunal.
See, some is absent. I think we have already spoken about and lot been spoken about it about the injury. You cannot have a injured bowler to in a test match where he bowls 4 overs and 5 overs and go out. Simply, you are wasting up some place in the team. It's better to play a Siraj, a fit Siraj than a half fit Sami. Of course, he's not match fit. He bowling 4 overs in Mustaqal Trophy and then he didn't pick up for the even the different tournaments. Even didn't play the IPL, which someone mentioned in this discussion itself. Bumrah played 3 tests. I remember one discussion when Mr. Kapil Dev said, "What is this workload management? If he can play every IPL game
Very,
and
very
bowl
true. I think
four
he said
overs,
this in few days back, that what is workload?
so if he can play 13, 14, 15 matches in a month, within a month, and bowls 4 overs of full quota with that particular pressure, why can't he play 5 test matches? It's a 25 days. He can skip an ODI tournament post that. He cannot play T20, but he is my prime bowler. How do we play for 25 days of test match in a crucial tour? Of course, yes. Number one. Now he bowls 30. I feel he bowls 30 overs in a test match.
Correct. He bowls 30. Correct.
He bowls 30. So 30 into 5, 150 overs over 3 months. You
Correct.
bowl more in the nets than this. And you can, so I am not really not buying the idea of workload management where you do not have plenty of option available with you. When team needs you, you need him perfectly.
Absolute. Absolute.
Fine. So why I'm player? I need a rest? I need to play. I'm not sure how Bumrah takes it up. Definitely, if the body doesn't respond to the situation, definitely he takes a call. India also need to have him come for a longer run.
No, what he
But
has told BCCI Kunal is that I have broken down in BGT. I don't want to break down again. So I'll play 3. And that's why don't consider me as a captain. That is exactly his words. Don't
no, I
consider
know
me
that.
as captain. I'll play 3.
No, fantastic.
Firstly, are you a god? I mean, we all are from corporate background. I don't know how you can take a call you are not Kapil Dev end of the day. You can take a
No,
call, I'll
I,
play
I,
3.
I do not agree with the statement who plays someone said I want to rest in this series. So
Correct.
you are getting a privilege of representing a country.
Correct.
You are getting the India cap where everybody
Correct.
is waiting in the line. You might get Bumrah is
Everybody.
a champion bowler, is definitely a one-decade bowler, one of a decade
Correct.
bowler.
Correct.
Agreed. But that doesn't give a liberty to give you a choose that I play for 3. If India is in 5, you have to play 5.
Correct.
You didn't give given this choice to Kapil Dev. You didn't give choice to Anil Kumble. You didn't give a choice to Harbhajan Singh. You didn't give choice to Virat Kohli. Off late has been started workload management. People are picking and choosing. You didn't give the opportunity to Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid. They have been picked by the selectors. It's not that you're picking the Indian team. Your selectors are picking you still. The system is not there. So I am really upset about that somebody's in 3 or 4. Taking consideration that definitely his request will be adhered since he's a prime bowler and kind of a very important player.
Very important player, yes.
Third and fourth, Kuldeep is a key. I said you ask one day in a Facebook why Kuldeep. I simply don't understand. But Kuldeep adds a wonderful variety to the team. Now, if I have a big choice to make Sundar or Kuldeep, I'll go with Kuldeep because if I am playing Sundar to bowl 15-20 overs and expecting him to take a wicket, so his role is to take wickets as a bowler. If he scores some run, that's an added advantage. But my team composition, if he's already loaded with batters and all-rounders who are supposed to score runs, then I'll go with the specialist to take the wickets. I cannot play every time 12 all-rounders. Other India could play all 12 all-rounders.
But
Number
Kuldeep,
one.
Kunal will come into play only in Manchester and Kia Oval. Only two test matches. So basically,
Of course,
we have to take Sundar or Jadeja for 3. So that is one batsman short, which we have discussed. One batsman is short.
I feel Jadeja is a very experienced guy. You are not no better shot. Jadeja at 7 is as equal as a good bat.
No, but
He
Jadeja is
batted.
batting only, na Kunal. Last few years, he's batting. How much is he bowling? That you have to take. He's not bowling.
So
it is.
I understand it. So Kuldeep is a key, number one.
So you are saying Kuldeep is key.
Very
Okay,
key.
Okay.
Very key. I said
Okay.
my trump card is Arshdeep. So maybe
Okay.
Bumrah played 3, but you don't feel his
No,
absence.
if you say Arshdeep is going to take wickets along with Bumrah, then of course playing 6 batsmen is okay. Then you don't need to have all rounder.
Of course,
Because then
Arshdeep will
Kuldeep
have
takes
to play.
other
Arshdeep has
wickets.
gone to England to play. He's not going to have the shopping.
Then if he has not gone for shopping, then Siraj doesn't play. Your team selection tells that Siraj is not playing at all.
I'm not seeing Siraj in the first 11. Of course not.
Okay, that's a question we'll discuss last. So see, you are
In English
saying Mohammad Siraj.
condition, in English
You are
condition, I do
saying
not prefer
you are saying Mohammad Siraj not in scheme of things at all in the first 5 test matches, in
first
any
two
of the
tests.
test matches.
First two tests.
First to the Siraj not there. And in 3-4 we have spinning track. How will get Siraj? In spinning track we have to have all rounder. So Siraj for you is not in the side at all.
Siraj,
I don't see Siraj.
you tell me. Siraj is a seam bowler or swing bowler?
Sim.
Seam bowler. And he
Correct.
particularly bowls at one angle.
Exactly one angle. Only one angle, and
one
he's
angle.
short. He's
short.
He's
It's more of a rhythm bowler. Fine.
Correct.
Same as Prasidh Krishna. So you have got two identical bowlers who hit the deck and try to move the ball around.
So I think Siraj is then for us in the discussion now in the last
See,
1 hour. Siraj is an extra.
India would go for third simmer in the terms of, I feel, if India goes for Ishwaran, Jaswal, Gill, Nair, Rahul, Pant, Jadeja, Bumrah, then
Arshdeep.
Then Kuldeep. No, Kuldeep in the first 2 tests is not there.
Not there.
Nitish Reddy and Shardul Thakur. Either Nitish Reddy plays because he's proved in his mettle in BGT. So he might bat ahead of Jadeja at number 7.
So your team selection has Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Surprising. That's good. That's a very contentious. I think he will not play Abhimanyu Ishwaran. I will come to Sagar and Rajiv. Just give me a second. Sudeep, you have to tell us the same thing. Shami, absent. Bumrah 3. Kuldeep, your thoughts on that?
Yeah. See, Shami, there is nothing much can be done. See, if he's not match fit, so there's no point in carrying a baggage, for a
Correct.
5-test series. And if he breaks down in the middle of the series, then that's a added headache for the management.
Right.
So we have to do away with Shami for the time being. Regarding Bumrah, I think I agree with Kunal that he should not have said that I am only available for 3 tests and 5 days. I mean, you have to manage your fitness. It's fitness management is up to you. You are playing so many IPL matches, I think 15 or 16. I think he played 14 IPL matches this season.
Correct. 14.
And
14.
now,
14. Yeah.
and as far as test match is concerned, and beforehand you are making an announcement that I'll be available. Okay, even if we consider that he's available for 3 tests, but then these three tests, which is he is available, first 2 tests he has to play. This is, I believe, for Lords, Manchester, and Oval. I think these are the last 3 tests.
Last 3, right. Lords is 3, Manchester is 4, and Oval is 5.
So Lords and Manchester, we can give him a rest and play if at all he plays for 3 tests, considering the fact that he plays for 3 tests. The first 2 tests he has to play, and the last test, the Oval. So this is what and Kuldeep is I have just played some time back also. He carries an X factor. He's an X factor. He from 3rd test he will be a very vital cog in our bowling machine. He is indispensable, I tell you, because see, it's not just because the spinners have been very successful. If you go by Shane Warne, Stuart McGrill, Nathan Lyon, they are all spinners. Even Shoaib Bashir nowadays. So they are all spinners and they have been hugely successful. There is no reason why Kuldeep will not succeed. And
Right.
one more thing, I agree with Kunal that Arshdeep Singh has to be in the first 11. That
That
is
we
a must
discussed
because
when we were 1-1.
he
Yes.
has so much of variety. At least he can bowl at least in a 6 ball over. He can bowl 3 different types of ball. This much variety he has.
So the
Arshdeep.
panel mostly, Sudeep, agrees on Shami. I agree absolutely.
Siraj does
Bumrah,
not
I
fit
also
in the
personally.
11.
So Siraj is burden for us. Most of
It's a
us are
burden.
agreeing. I
It's
have
a
not
burden
heard
in
Rajiv,
English
but for
conditions. In
others,
English
Sagar,
conditions.
me, you, and yeah, mostly Siraj looks to be a burden in this side now.
Yeah. Siraj does not
Like
fit
we have
into
a
the
batsman
11.
short, we have a bowler extra, which is Mohammad Siraj. We don't know where to fit in. So when the
Yeah.
team selection,
He,
finally
he,
we'll
he would
discuss
have
this.
been better in the Perth test, but not in England.
Okay. Right. In England, Siraj is an exception. Thank you, Sudeep.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
I'll now take Rajiv first. I'll take Rajiv first and then Sagar. Yeah, Rajiv.
Yeah, so there are some disagreements, and that's why, you know. So the fact is, let me first tell you what is the curious case about Bumrah. Now, all ex-cricketers, everybody are saying that why can't you play five? I mean, our people, bowlers in 80s and all, they continuously played for so many test matches and all this stuff. But the kind of workload a modern day cricketer has is just, especially fast bowlers, is just incomparable to what these guys in 80s and 90s did. So it is very easy to say why he's playing IPL. He has to play IPL. Jasprit Bumrah is the superstar bowler of not only India but the world. The world wants to see him in the best league of this era, right? I mean, Indian Premier League is the best era, and your best bowler has to play. He is a stakeholder. Forget about him being the best bowler. He's a stakeholder, like all your superstars. IPL is a team, is made up of stars. It is just not made up of cricketers alone. It is made up of star. And MSD today plays because he has a star value. वरना उसका बैटिंग में तो बनता ही नहीं आईपीएल में कहाँ बनता है यार बनता ही नहीं है कि he has to play, but he plays because he's a star, right? So that means Bumrah has to play. He's a stakeholder. You go and I mean, it is very easy to say why he's not playing. Let him play test matches. या टेस्ट मैचेस में वो A+ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कितना 2 करोड़ 2.5 करोड़ यहाँ पे आईपीएल में 2 महीने का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट 15 करोड़ 18 करोड़ क्यों नहीं बनाएगा पैसा बुमराह सब बनाने के लिए बैठे हैं सो
No, I have
लेट्स
objection here as a moderator. Country first or money first?
Yeah, good question. Both, I guess.
Because for me, country first. I will take 2 crores of a contract and I will not take I will not take. I mean, what you were saying IPL खेल के पैसा कमा के निकल जाएंगे. I
हाँ
mean,
हाँ मॉडर्न नहीं so
क्यों भाई
let's नहीं let's be practical. A modern cricketer looks like that. He's already put himself on for the country and won you 2 BGTs. He's won you one.
Correct.
He's the player of the series, last England series. So
Correct.
इसमें वो कैसा देखता है ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए हमको. He's the best. So he will play IPL. वो ये नहीं बोलेगा कि मैं 5 टेस्ट खेलूंगा करके. The problem with Bumrah is that at one go, he cannot play so many test matches. And that's why this 3 has come. Remember,
No, but Kunal, 1 minute, Rajiv, right. Kunal's point, I agree 100%. कपिल देव को मिला था ऑप्शन नहीं मिला था हाँ तुम बोल सकते हो आईपीएल नहीं था उस जमाने में बट कपिल देव कितना टेस्ट मिस किया पूरा करियर में 1 टेस्ट दैट टू ही वाज ड्रॉप्ड इन कलकत्ता ही वाज ड्रॉप्ड
सुन लीजिए ना सुन लीजिए
बोल
I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just saying कि what happens here is that the kind of fast bowling आजकल का जो एक्सरसाइज है एक रिदम है उनका एक फिटनेस का रिजीम है I think what happens is कि see the difference between Melbourne and Sydney. Why did he break down at Sydney? It's because after Melbourne, what happened is, so you remember this, this something which got stuck in the stump mic, where Rohit Sharma said कि यार एक और ओवर डालेगा तो बुमराह ने कहा भाई नहीं होगा मुझसे और नहीं होगा आई एम जस्ट फीलिंग दैट थिंग राइट इनफैक्ट टू द एक्सटेंट वी थॉट कि क्योंकि 2-3 दिन में सिडनी है नाउ दे हैव अ रिजीम मेलबर्न जैसे ही टेस्ट मैच खत्म होता है या डे खत्म होता है देयर इज अ रिजीम इन विच दे हैव टू डू एंड देन गेट रिलैक्स्ड वो रिजीम नहीं कर पाया वो बिकॉज ऑफ टू मच टायर्डनेस एक आइस बकेट चीज होता है एक 2 लैप होता है कुछ तो आई एम नॉट 100% श्योर बट वो किया नहीं बुमराह ने एंड दैट्स व्हाई ही वेंट अहेड एंड यू नो ही एक्चुअली उसको स्ट्रेस हो गया जिसकी वजह से उसने चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी मिस करना पड़ा नाउ रिमेंबर बुमराह इज लाइक अ ट्रेजर आपको उसको लंबे टाइम तक रखना है तो अगर वो 3 टेस्ट बोल रहा है तो आप क्योंकि इंडिया 5 टेस्ट
इंपॉर्टेंट है ये सही पॉइंट है ही इज अ ट्रेजर टू बी चेरिश्ड
हाँ
बट
तो
ये
उसको
पॉइंट
रखना
नहीं है
पड़ेगा।
कि नहीं,
27 में
आप अगर
वर्ल्ड कप है
एनालिस्ट के
ओडीआई का।
हिसाब से बोल रहे हो तो ये तो आपको बीसीसीआई सुनेगा तो आपको जिंदगी में पॉडकास्ट करने ही नहीं देगा, बोलेगा कि इंडिया आप टीम के पहले आईपीएल को रख रहे हो। आप तो वही
नहीं,
बोल रहे
see,
थे ना
I am
भैया।
not, I am nobody to say who.
No, no,
I
I'm
will
just
not
saying the
pass
argument.
individual
We are,
judgments.
no, no, no. Yeah, I'm coming to the conclusion. I'm moderating everything. So Kunal, what he said is right. India should be ahead of IPL. हम लोग सब जानते हैं आईपीएल में 2 साल कमाओगे 4 मर्सिडीज हो जाएगा, इंडिया में 5 साल लगेगा एक मर्सिडीज के लिए। I agree. But what he was saying is a treasure, yes, he has to be preserved. That was what your
Yeah,
point. What
yeah.
Kunal
So
is saying, that's why he's raised his hand. I think he has something to add. We will come
नहीं,
after
let
Sagar.
me complete it. Let me just
Sure, sure,
complete it.
sure. Please, please,
Yeah, yeah.
please.
So I'm just saying, so if Bumrah, who's played all these test matches, who is your best fast bowler for the last 5-6 years, when he says that I can only play these three test matches, he means it. He knows that his body doesn't have that recovery time to come out of it. उसको पता है, हमसे तो ज्यादा ही पता होगा ना, वो खेल रहा वहां पे.
Exact.
So he
Correct.
knows it. That's why he's making it very clear. The
Correct.
other thing is probably there is an outside chance that he may play the fourth test match. वो पता नहीं है क्योंकि बीच में the way it is structured is the first two happen
8 days का
quickly.
गैप है, 8 days का गैप है, थर्ड और फोर्थ में 8 days का गैप है।
हाँ, so वो कैसा करेगा वो नहीं पता. But as of now, it looks like 3 test matches.
3 days.
The other
Thanks.
point about Siraj did very well in the last England series. He's tapered off now. In the BGT, his form was blow hot, blow cold type of thing. So he doesn't come in the start level, but I think he has a merit to be on the squad. अब कौन कैसे
ये पॉइंट
खिलाएगा
मैं
नहीं
आपको
पता क्योंकि बुमराह नहीं
यही
खेल.
आपको ये हम पूछ
आप
रहे
ये
थे
जान
राजीव
लो
आपको
ना,
कि ये
बुमराह.
स्क्वाड में आता है, डज ही कम इन द स्क्वाड? 18 में आना चाहिए था सिराज को।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चन टू यू,
हाँ
18 में
yes,
आना चाहिए था?
आना चाहिए
अच्छा,
था.
ठीक ठीक है,
100%.
ठीक है,
And
got
then
it.
remember one thing, ना बुमराह ना अर्शदीप, these two are not going to play all 5 test matches. पक्का है, ये आप जान लो. Because अर्शदीप is another guy who has a temperature, उसका एक हार्ट रेट का एक इशू है, वो 20 ओवर के
I
ऊपर.
know that.
या so उसका भी एक इशू है. So I think Kunal is leaving, he wants to leave, so I'll let him make the point. These are the two things which I really wanted to make a point.
Okay. Kunal, you have to leave now.
Yeah, I will leave now. I will go somewhere else that's been scheduled. So that's okay.
Oh.
But what Rajiv said, I partially agree to it. But Bumrah's contract is A plus contract is not 2 crores, it's 7 crores. And that is
Correct.
apart from the match fees what he gets.
Correct.
We all have heard Mr. Nathu Singh's name. Have anyone heard Nathu Singh?
No, I have not.
He earned 9 crores in IPL, but you do not remember for his IPL performance. Pal Valtati was a man of the series in IPL. He never represents the country. So you get IPL contract because of your country's performance. Of course, yes. Yes, there's some exception. Please don't make that count. But Bumrah is an asset to us. We have to preserve him. But he has to work on his fitness. I know he has got a stress back and all. But as Rohit Sharma asked him कि एक ओवर डाल देगा, वो कहता है कि नहीं मैं डाल नहीं पाऊंगा, मुझसे नहीं होगा. In that match, just check how many overs he bowled at that point of time. अब कपिल देव वो करता उस जमाने में तो आप बोलते हो मैच छोड़ के भाग रहा है. अब गांगुली करता, गांगुली का हैमस्ट्रिंग में लगता था, आप बोलते थे भाग रहा है पेस बॉलर से. लेग साइड में खेल नहीं सकता है, ऑफ साइड में सिर्फ बैट करना जानता है, फिर भी बंदा. सो इट डिपेंड्स कि कौन किसको आप रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, किस टाइम पे कर रहे हैं. नाउ एवरीथिंग सीम्स राइट फॉर बुमराह, बट फाइन, इट्स ओके, बट कंट्री फर्स्ट ऑलवेज. That's why they've been aimed for. You never aimed for I'll only play IPL. Yes, maybe mentally for the money has got changed. But the country service always give longevity. You ask any of the IPL player, he said, I want to play a test match. Even the departing comments on RCB win, Matthew hadn't asked this question to Virat, that test or IPL. He said, always test. I'll tell the younger generation to play test. That's how we can share the character. That's why today we are discussing. Have we discussed before IPL final between RCB and PB KS? Answer is no. We are also passionate to see our national heroes plays well in the international arena. When in IPL you got one international bowler and 3 domestic bowlers, uncapped bowlers, so you get runs. The same bowler plays for country. Hazelwood plays for RCB and Hazelwood playing for Australia. Both are not same bowlers.
Correct.
So these are different conditions, different testing arena. Because today's era where everything is very technological advancement the opponent have. People know what Shubman Gill gets out in which ball, but still the people come and the field and score runs. So it's not about how we assess, maybe Bumrah is fit or not fit, but if he could play, India will have an upper hand. If he could not, England will definitely take their chances in the last two tests, because then you have a completely new attack. Zero maximum experience of two test matches if Siraj is not playing.
Then if Bumrah is not playing, Siraj will have to play. There's no other
See,
option. I think Siraj
Bumrah
will have
had
to.
to sit out. Bumrah had to sit out in the BGT in
Mm,
2021 because of
mm, mm.
his injury. You remember the
Correct,
last test? You
correct,
just check
correct.
the 11, and he said
Mm,
correctly, Rajiv,
mm,
the Ravi Sastri for me,
mm,
always a great Indian manager.
mm,
Always, he know
mm.
how to take out the best performance from
Best person,
the
everybody.
team. If team was down and out on 36, all out, and then he came back strongly. Ravi Bhai has been added and respected because of this.
Mm,
India could have looked at Gautam Gambhir as a coach, Ravi Sastry as a mentor. This combo
mm,
for this team
mm.
especially. He knows the young lads. He doesn't mind they go party hard, but he knows that how to get them runs on the board.
True.
So India will definitely lack Bumrah's absence if Bumrah doesn't play last two.
Agreed.
Yeah,
So since you are leaving, Kunal, I just want to part away because we'll be winding up after some more time. We have
sure,
three
sure,
rounds.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, just a final question. Your take on the series result. We'll finally tally it with others, but your take on the result before you leave.
Uh, I'm optimistic guy. I've played a bit of game, so I'll definitely
That's why I'm
my bet
asking. You have played
my
at a
bet
very
is
senior level.
my heart says definitely India, and definitely see the game will be played on the turf, not on the ground, neither on the Excel sheet nor on the Zoom call. So
Right.
I'm hopeful India will turn the table. My younger Indian fellow mates will give a tough luck, but it's I guess it's 1-3 or one for India, three for England. That's my
So
result.
1-3
One
for
can be.
Kunal, which is my take also. 1-3. Yeah. Thanks, Kunal. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
hope to get
everyone.
you for the entire regime the next time. Thank you. Thanks, Kunal. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
man.
much.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you, everyone. Sanjeev, everyone. Thank you, Rahul, for
Thanks,
this
Kunal. Thank
opportunity.
you. Yeah. We'll catch up next time. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah. Bye. I think we have Rajiv and Sagar. Sagar first. You have certain things to add.
Yeah, so I was listening to all the conversations very
Mm,
patiently.
mm,
So I had
mm,
2 points over here. Number one is
mm,
we have an Olympic in 2027,
mm.
2028, if I'm not mistaken.
28,
Sorry.
28, LA.
So
Yes, Los Angeles.
LA is 2028.
8.
Bumrah at that point of time would be something around 36 or
No,
37?
he's
Yeah,
31 now. He'll be 34. He'll be
35,
34. 34,
34,
34, 35.
35.
Yeah.
So let's plan this out or let's think it out. So if Bumrah, for example, we can sustain him with his workload management, there's a huge chance he will be our trump card in the Olympics. Think of it, an Indian team winning an Olympic gold. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, when we grew up, cricket is a team sport played by at most 10 people, 10 countries, of which the most important people countries which matter is around five of them. So let's be very practical over here. So if you get an opportunity to be staying in the Olympic Village, it is where the whole attention should be. I mean, we've not talked about it, and it was crossing my mind because why not? Because if you're staying in an Olympic village, you're basically brushing your shoulder. You might be Virat Kohli, you might be Bumrah at that point of time having 300 plus 400 wickets maybe in test, but so be it. You stay in an Olympic village and you are waking up for breakfast, and you most probably meet somebody in those times. I don't know who it will be, but somebody in the stature of Michael Phelps. So you are not the only superstar over there. There's no superstar in an Olympic village. Olympic village is about humbling. It is hugely humbling. So think of it walking that parade, maybe winning a medal for India in an Olympic. That can be a huge thing. So if that means I'm opening this up again, Pandora's box, if you can say. So it is an opportunity of maybe holding him back in a very uh, scientific manner so that he plays the Olympics with his full force. That's point number one. Point number two is if not Shami, and then when? I mean, while the discussion was on and the India A matches is currently on, and I see one of our left-handers, Khalil Ahmed, has already captured 4 wickets today. So what happens is whenever there is a left-arm batsman, fast bowler, it creates a lot of confusion in the batting setup. People are mentally aligned to a certain line, certain length, certain angle of balls. Suddenly, when the left arm bowler comes in, you have to plan differently. This happened with India when Stark used to play for India, when Bolt used to play against India. So India had to actually find a left arm bowler to how to manage that left arm. So this is one angle which I am completely in sync. India has to play Arshdeep, may not be for the five, obviously, definitely not for the five. Arshdeep has to play the first two or three. No doubts about it. He has to play the first two or three. Now, how does Bumrah then get placed on? I'll open another Pandora's box. Say, for example, Bumrah plays three of the first four tests, and India is 2-2. What do you do on the fifth test in Kennington Oval? And if it's a green pitch, do you leave out Bumrah? Can you play him on the fourth match? Yes, depending on how he has, because I most probably feel he will play 1, 2, and 4. That's how the whole thing will be, because then in that case, there will be a bigger gap for him to recuperate after the first two, which is
But
more or less
Sagar,
that.
four is Old Trafford. I don't think he'll play at Old Trafford. He'll
No,
probably play
why?
1, 2, and 3.
Three
Manchester, I
is
don't
okay.
think. Manchester
1, 2, and 5. I feel
5 is
1,
Kia
2,
Oval. 5 is Kia Oval. I don't think he'll play
Hmm.
Oval.
Kia Oval.
No,
If he
see,
can, if
Rahul,
he can
Rahul,
play 3 test matches together, he can play 5 also. So
yeah,
one,
yeah,
two,
yeah.
three तो
That
नहीं
is
होगा. 1, 2, 3
one,
नहीं.
two, three तो होगा ही नहीं for sure. Let me be very outright honest. वो नहीं होगा. You can write it down. तीसरा वाला या दूसरा वाला वो मिस करेगा. That's for sure. So what I was trying to open up is before the fifth, if he has played 1, 2, and 4, and then India is at 2-2 or maybe 1-1, what happens? Does he play? Does Bumrah play, or does he not play the fifth if he's fit? So all the talks of he playing four, he playing three, depending on, and I think we have missed out on a very, very critical line, which every time Ajit Agarkar, every time you are asked, even Bumrah has not even opened his mouth on this. Every time Ajit Agarkar or Gautam Gambhir is saying, and even in the last press conference, even Gill was saying, we will, he will most probably play three and choose the three, and depending on his body. So if he plays 1, 2, and then gets approximately around 14 days break, and then the fourth, sorry, and then again a 5 days break before the fifth comes in, and India is on even keel, do you leave out Jasprit Bumrah thinking that because हम लोग उनको बोले हैं कि आप तीन से ज्यादा नहीं खेल सकते, तीन नहीं खिलाएंगे? No, I don't think so. Trust me. If there's an opportunity to beat England in England, I think Bumrah for himself, he will say, no, I will play. That's my take on it, because I've seen a lot of, in fact, I mean, just before this India A match, I was having a word uh, with Ishwaran. In fact, I somehow know him. So I had called him for some reason, completely something professional. So I was just asking how are you feeling on the English? He just told me one thing. We've traveled for the last 12, 13 days, and I have only seen it rain in Northampton for around 30 minutes. In England, it has not been raining. आप कोई भी कंट्री में चले जाओ, कोई भी कंट्री में चले जाओ. Rahul, to answer your question on Manchester and thing, please understand Manchester, yes, it's a slow pitch. Yes, it's a spinning pitch. But you don't play three spinners over there, right? Over there, you will not, in most probabilities, there is an opportunity. Maybe Nitish and Shardul may play the first test together, but definitely not in Manchester. But won't you play Jasprit Bumrah if he can on the fourth test with, if not Arshdeep, then on the fourth test, maybe Prasidh Krishna, because that's the type of pitch you need. The one who hits it hard. Jasprit Bumrah does that, hits the pitch hard. takes advantage of the uneven bounce, which in Manchester it will be. It may be slow, but he's a magician. Jasprit Bumrah is a magician. You don't need the pitch. He'll take the pitch out of question when he bowls at times.
No, I think it is
So my
contentious. We'll have to see.
yeah, it is
We'll have to see.
contentious. I know. I'm before
And
I
India 2-2, you rightly said, and I mean the best hope we can have. 2-2 is little contentious with this team. But yes, given that scenario happens, maybe Bumrah will go for 5, maybe. But given his body breaking up in BGT, I am not sure that even that we will play. I don't know. I mean,
see with BJT, what happened is Rahul that Bumrah played all the four. Here we are definitely sure either he is not playing the third or the second. Most probably he's playing the second
I thought
also.
he will play 1-3-5, but then 3 is yeah, I think
Three is
1-3-5 we can play.
1-3-5. It's a. I think he'll play 1 and 2 because his body is good enough to play 1 and 2 for the first. He'll
Okay,
play
okay.
1 and 2, then definitely another one which will be the fourth. The three he will miss, the third. And
Lords he will
if
miss, you're saying.
yeah. Because I mean, for Bumrah playing at Lords, not playing at Lords, because if he plays 1, 2, and 3, that means he does not have time to recuperate. That was a problem with him in BJT. He played one after the other, one after the other, one after the other before, without the
Yeah.
time to do his ice buckets and
Okay,
everything.
okay. Thanks, because Rajiv, we are a little short of time. You slowly be.
Yeah.
Rajiv, you had some point. Rajiv, you had some point.
Yeah, so the only thing, as I said, what really happens is that I mentioned this. So he can't play 3 test matches together. So that cannot happen. And remember, in a very placid Vizag wicket, he got 6 wickets. So Bumrah can play anywhere. So that's not a problem. And I totally agree. See, the thing is, Bumrah wants to play the 4th test. That is 1, 2, 4, and 5. It'll be very nice if he can play that. For him, a 3 test series or a 4 test series fits perfectly well for him with some space and all. But he wants the selectors to know that they should be well planned. Maybe he can only play 3 tests. That's what he feels. But if the need be, he'll play the 4th test match also, which is what Sagar is pointing out. So I agree with him. So for me, Bumrah is like he knows when to play and when not to play. He just wants to be careful, which is fine because longevity is very important. That also is very, very important. He made a mistake in Sydney. He doesn't want to do it again because एक और बार वैसा स्ट्रेस फ्रैक्चर हो गया तो उसका करियर खत्म हो सकता है. So you don't want to get into that kind of thing. Bumrah can play easily 5 years if it's well planned. That's
Agreed.
it. That's my point.
Thanks. The next point is, of course, this is important now. The A games. So we wanted this point to be discussed. This is Rajiv and Sagar again. I'll go to Rajiv first. What conclusion do we draw from the A games? The second game is still on today, and Khalil Ahmed has picked up 4. I have a feeling, Rajiv, and you will be able to deliver on this more. It is a placid pitch, and they have given not their best bowlers, which we always do. If we have a foreign team coming, we give a bold President's 11, and we deliberately play players will never play for India because we don't want to expose our team. So that is exactly what England is doing. England is playing players they will never play the Test match, so they're holding back actual players because none of them are playing. Only Chris Wokes, and they are also. What I saw on the first pitch in which I think India drew that match in which Karan scored a 204. That was a very, very dry pitch. This pitch also doesn't have much grass. So my question to you, Rajiv, is are we playing the right set of games before as a build-up to the test match? And number 2, are the bowlers of England are they actually not are the bowlers? My first question, is it a good preparation for India, given that 8 or 7 of this team will going to play the test match? Rajiv.
See, there are 2 parts to the same answer. If you get all these, assuming that you've got a green top, पूरा वही वो 6-6 इंच ग्रास बोले ना आप पहले, वैसा है ये वो होता, तो यही करुण नायर 200 नहीं बनाता था, 20 रन बनाता था. तो कौन सा उसका प्रिपरेशन हो जाता था? कोई प्रिपरेशन नहीं होता था, राइट? Now when you get a very dry pitch and you're getting almost like India like season, तो फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा उसको. But see, the whole point is every preparation is preparation. And playing a match there is a preparation because of 2 things. एक आपको time मिलता, pitch पे, ground पे, you're getting a feel of it, feel of conditions and all. You're not getting a feel of the pitch, but you're getting definitely having a feel of those conditions. क्योंकि आज से जो 10 दिन बाद, 12 दिन बाद जो भी टेस्ट मैच चालू होने वाला है, उसमें यही होने वाला. बारिश हुआ तो वो अलग बात है, but otherwise these are the kind of conditions which is going to be there. So whomsoever is playing is definitely making a big advantage out of setting themselves up for good condition. जो मिल रहा है उसको लेना पड़ेगा. But yes, they are not. they when they play that first test match starts, they would know that the difference between that what they played in this domestic match, then what they're going to play in that first test match is huge. But at least they have some preparation going on. So we have to take what it gets. So we don't have a choice. So I guess it's fine. कोई मतलब जो मिल रहा है उसे ले लो, मैं वही बोलूंगा। क्योंकि 6 इंच का ग्रास होता और कुछ होता एंड यही बॉलर आते तो हो सकता 20 ही बनाता था। तो एटलीस्ट ये मेरे लिए थोड़ा बेटर है। But the only thing is कि you know थोड़ा सा इवन बैलेंस होता था तो बेटर हो जाता, बट जो मिल रहा है ले लो, मैं तो वही बोलूंगा। यू
So you're
नेवर नो।
saying whatever you get, you take it.
या यू डोंट हैव चॉइस ना, वो तो
You
नहीं
don't have
देने
a
वाला
choice.
भाई। सो इज दे आर बीइंग
So
स्मार्ट, सो
they'll not give the
या
right teams,
या
right? Sagar,
No,
your points on
I
this.
will, yeah. So, I mean, I completely agree with Rajiv on this point. Basically, you don't choose where you're playing, right? Number one, and who you're playing. So that is England's choice, number one. So, on the contrary, also think what are these England, so-called England test players, what are they doing now except their captain? They are playing T20s and one days, including Root. Today also there's a match in Bristol. So where are they playing? They're playing T20s on a flat track, on sunny flat track, the low bounce grounds. They are not also playing anywhere in the grass. So if you remember, even in the Zimbabwe match, it was a very dry flat track that they were playing in. It was unfortunate that Zimbabwe in the first innings lost it because of the scenario, and they lost the match because in the second innings, the way the Zimbabwean players were batting, they had a problem. The England bowlers had a problem over there, and we could see it if it was flat. So my questions, my not my question, my point over here is very simple, and I completely agree with Rajiv. आपको जो मिल रहा है आपको तो वही करना होगा. आप जो नहीं मिल रहा है उसके लिए रोके क्या करेंगे? Number one, and most importantly, now what has India done in these two matches? We have Karun Nair scoring a 200. His and also in the first innings over here, he scored something around 30,
40,
40
40,
runs.
40. He scored
40
40.
runs, yeah. So he scored a 40 run over here. So his morale, his batte ball, the Bengali term of mane batte ball is ekdam perfectly fine now. Mane he is seeing the ball the way it should be. He's comfortable with the atmosphere. And what has then who comes in his place, or not in his place? I mean, who comes in? KL Rahul scores 100. What more do you want? If, for example, KL Rahul did come in after the IPL and scores a 10 in this match, what would you do before the first test? You are like already thinking, should KL be in opening or number three or number four? All these questions come. He scored 100. You play him in number one. And while I would have loved to see Ishwaran batting open in the first test, but it's way off. It's not happening because unfortunately Ishwaran has not scored enough to my understanding. So it will be Jaiswal again throwing away his wickets, but again it will be Jaiswal. It will be Rahul. Number three, doubtful. It should go to Karun Nair, but there are talks of Sai Sudarshan coming in at three. Then the captain at four. Karun is expected. That's what I hear is at five. So and then Pant, obviously Pant Jadeja. And by the way, another information coming out. I think this came out. I came to know about it yesterday when I was having a discussion that even if it is a green pitch and even if it is cloudy in Leeds, only one of our all-rounders will play. So it is a clear-cut shootout between Shardul Thakur or Nitish Reddy. आप यहाँ पे अगर नीतीश रेड्डी now who plays? Now the question is who plays, Nitish or Shardul? In current form, it has to be Nitish Reddy. Shardul has been extremely woefully out of form. He's bowling no balls. He's not been batting well as of now, and he's not confident in his batting also. So,
But Sagar, one point. In the two matches, till now, it has been very difficult to choose. 27-34, 1 wicket, 0 wicket, both bowled 5 overs. Current two matches you can't pick up. Both are equally bad. That's what I wrote in
both are
Facebook.
equally bad, but you know why
Yes.
the Nitish will play is because Nitish played the BJT. He did well. Number one, he has the backing of the team, and this team. And anyways, you may have heard Gill already say we'll give long ropes to every player so that they feel confident. So expect Nitish to be around. Nitish has to fail for a very long time before Shardul comes in. That's my take on it. But yeah, to coming back to the old point, India A, England A. If England has not given their bowlers to bowl in the against these Indian players, so be it. But what are those England players doing? They are bowling on flat T20s and one-day internationals. Is it a good? So if we are complaining that our players are coming from IPL, so are the English players. I think seven of their English players who will play in the IPL, not seven, sorry, five or six of them were in the IPL, and the rest of them were playing are playing ODIs and T20s. So do we have too much of difference over there? I personally think no.
Agreed. Okay, that's a good question answer basically. We now move on to the World Test Championship final. Since Kunal is not there, we'll have to take it to Sudeep only. We might have Rajiv a little bit because we will have to finish it somewhere down the line. We're already 1.5 hours. We're doing very good conversation, good points coming up. Sudeep, my question to you is very two simple questions. Last two WTC final, we had India, and now it is Australia and South Africa. So is it the beginning of a new world order in world championships with India being looked out, phased out, transition team? Do you think India is the new weak team? Other teams waking up? One. And number two is Australia. 7 people over 32, 5 people over 35. Is it the new team that is going to explode after India? Is it going to be one of the weakest teams ever after 7 people going out? Very pertinent question. Nathan Leon, Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins, Labuschagne, Smith, Khawaja. 7 of the top order is 33 plus.
Yeah.
Your take on that, and firstly your take on World Test Championship. India not there, first time. So is it a new world order coming that India is going down in Test cricket? That's the first question.
No, I personally feel that this is we are in a phase of transition where it will take some time, before we again regain our supremacy, because we have to give this particular team some time to establish themselves. Because you may recollect, one of the key reasons, why we have failed in the past 2, 3 years, has been our leading batsmen have failed to live up to their expectations, And this is one of the primary reasons, because you will see that our bowlers have done comparatively better than our batsmen in overseas conditions, if you look at the records. So I don't think this is a new world order. With South Africa has always been a strong team, but again, then the final you never know, because they have this tendency to choke in crunch situations. This is a quite common feature with South Africa. I don't know what will happen in final. Final is quite evenly balanced, these two teams. But yes, India, you have to give some time for this young team to settle down. And I'm sure that in the next, I'm quite positive about this team, that in the next
So
one,
my
even
question
one
to you,
year.
Sudeep, is do you see India in the final of WTC 27? Straight question.
No, it's
Do
too
you see
early to
India in the
say.
final of 27 with this
Uh,
new team, entire new team?
yeah. And see, first of all, they have to gel as a unit, that is very important, the regular chopping and building and bringing in new players and dropping them just at the drop of that is not going to help matters. You have to, if you have selected a team, young team, keeping in mind the long-term future, then you have to persist with them some point of time. Till some point of time, we have to persist with them. Otherwise, see, if you don't give them a reasonable chance, they will not be able to flourish, actually. If you just, uh, at the drop of the hat, if you just drop them from the team, I think that is not going to hold matters. And
So you
regarding
think
whether
that
they will be in the
India
WTC final, that is too early. It's still early days. So let's give 2 series. Just let's wait for 2 series. Then maybe when
So you're
we
saying
can.
this may not be the world order, may not be the new world order with South
No, this
Africa
may
and
not be. This
Australia.
I don't think this can be, because England is now a very strong team, and maybe they can be also in the final. And remember, the next 2, 3 years, in the next 2 years, many Australian seniors will be past their prime. So Australian may have a new team totally. So not necessarily
Yeah, so
that.
that leads to my second question. Is
Hmm.
Australia at the brink of beginning of the end like India?
No,
7 people on the verge of retirement.
no, it's
7.
not.
And also
I know.
remember, they have a they have an opener conundrum. Just hear me out. They have opening conundrum. They have Sam Constas. They have they have Ravenshaw. They are not able to fix. They are asking Steve Smith to open. They are asking Labuschagne to open. But they
Labuschagne
have
to
not
open.
fixed. And
Yeah.
rock solid. Khwaja is rock solid, but Khwaja is 38, going to be 39.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
after 6 months, after the home series at the Ashes, it is
Yeah,
likely Cummins is
they,
going to retire, Hazelwood is going to retire, Stark is
no,
going to retire,
no, no.
Natalio is going to
Cummins is, I
retire.
think, only 32. I think. I don't think he'll go.
33,
He's going to
33. Yeah,
32.
except Cummins,
Yeah,
Stark is going to retire. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Stark and Hazelwood will retire anyways. And
yeah,
Nathaniel is 37. I think he's just playing for
yeah.
600, which is Ashwin did not.
Even
And
even
Khwaja
Scott
is
Boland is 36. Scott
36.
Boland.
So,
Yeah,
so entire bowling is going to wipe off. Steve Smith is going to be wiped off also, along with Khwaja.
yeah. They are
7 of the
definitely.
11 is going to wiped off. So, what do you think? This team is going to be like West Indies of 95 when Richards, Lloyd, everything went off, and then for 20
No,
years they're not able to recover. So,
no,
what is your thought
see.
about Australia in future?
Australia, see, they, unlike West Indies, they have a very strong domestic infrastructure. There are a lot
Okay,
of young players, they come off, they nurture the talent, the infrastructure is built in such a way.
I agree.
Maybe,
But in the opening, they are not able to find a partner for Khwaja.
I agree, but
5 openers tried out in last 8 test matches.
and none of them have shown that
No, none of
perform
them,
to
except
the.
Sam Constance, where he backscooped Bumrah for a six, and he
Yeah, yeah.
played that
But
backscoop
he's
thing
a
to get
more of
40.
a very, he's not a very stable, doesn't look a very stable player, for opening
So
a
if
batsman.
7 people retiring, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
throwing the question to you. If 7 people retire, do you think Australia is going not to be found anywhere? So then,
no, no,
accordingly,
no.
then South Africa and England are going to be the two teams. Then India is
And
also taking time to go up.
no, no,
So
no. See,
will
I
Australia be
won't.
totally obliviated from the world of
No,
cricket?
no, 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 not at all, not at all. They will always bounce back, but there will be a phase of transition there where they might face challenges, to perform the way they are performing now. There will be a small phase of transition, maybe 1 year or
Yeah,
one
because
and a half
Rajiv
years.
said in Facebook to my question that even they have a 30 plus team, in the one-off test, they are very dangerous. That's what Rajiv said. In a
I
one-off
agree.
test, they might blow away South Africa very fast.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
is good. And that
that
South
is,
Africa, that Australia can do. They
that
really
Australia
can
can
blow
do.
off the way they blew off India with Travis at 100 in the Ahmedabad World Cup final.
But
They are
coming
very
back,
good in one-off matches where they can blow off an opposition very fast.
yeah, coming back to your question, I agree that they will face a period of challenge where they will have to grow up new players. But
Mm.
to say that they will be totally blown away, I think it's not the correct way, because they will. I'm sure that, see, other in past also we have seen that many Australian greats have retired more or less in a very small period of time. They have retired, and but they have always
Mm.
come up with new talents, who have flourished in international cricket. So I'm sure that
Correct.
Australia will. I think they will definitely have some backup plans, and they will come up, and they will face some challenges, because these are persons who are retiring as all-time greats actually. Huh?
So what's your take on the final, Sudeep? What's your take on
Final,
the final?
see, it's very evenly balanced, but considering the South Africa's past record in
Mm.
crumbling in crunch situations, I would pick Australia as the favorite to win the
So you think
WTC
Australia is
final.
going to, even
Yeah,
if it is in Lords, it's early summers, huh? It's going to start on
huh,
Tuesday.
yeah,
It is
yeah, yeah,
Lords, and
yeah.
the ball is going to swing really heavily. You're still
Yeah.
saying Australia wins. Okay.
I'll pick up Australia.
Because
I'll pick up
because South
Australia.
Africa has Rabada coming back from the
Yeah,
drug
yeah,
abuse
yeah,
substance,
yeah,
and they've got
yeah.
a very, very strong pace attack. So you're saying Australia winning, and now
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But their
Sagar,
batsmen, the batsmen seem to, falter in crunch situations. That's what has been the
so
case
you're
so
saying
far.
Australia winning the World Cup final handsomely. Thanks,
But
Sudeep. Really
on paper, both are evenly balanced.
balanced. On paper, you were saying that. I also feel this is a surprise. This might be a surprise final. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sudeep. Thanks. Sagar,
Thank you.
your turn.
Thank
I'll make a prediction here. After the Ashes, which will be just one series into the new Test cycle, Australia will not be in the finals in this WTC next cycle for sure. That's what my take is. Purely because of the number of people who will retire over the period of next 1 year. So that is where I personally feel Australia will definitely not feature in the next one. Will India feature? India may still feature. Why I'm saying is, if India can somehow win or draw in New Zealand, I'm not even taking this one because it's a two match series. So if India can win or draw in New Zealand, India's rest of the cycle is South Africa in India, West Indies in India, Bangladesh away, I think, is there, Sri Lanka away. So India may actually be there in the final. Australia may not, will not. I'm saying will not be there. And to answer your question of if who will win this WTC, it will be a face-off between the bowlers, but I still think Australia will take it.
Yeah, I think so. You have made a bold prediction of Australia not going into the finals, which I also think because the transition will hit them bad. But I also feel that India may not go to the finals. New Zealand is a question, I know. But I have a feeling India will not qualify for WTC 23. I think so. Uh, if Gautam Gambhir loses his job as a coach, I feel that India may still, with a little sanity coming. But I, with so much of experience of seeing cricket, I think if there's no sanity in Indian cricket, which Rajiv also said, if there's sanity going into the series, because India have a disaster, I personally feel that they have gone into with a new coach and a new captain in the beginning of a cycle. And that's something which I really didn't want to happen. A new cycle with a new captain and a new coach. This is something we didn't want. But unfortunately, things have panned out like that. So yes, your predictions are pretty clear. Australia, most of the panelists decided overwhelming favorites to win this one. But after this, when people retire, it's going to be a tough call. Agreed. Thanks. So we come to the penultimate question now. The most important, what people would like to hear in a podcast, the predictions. And I'll start off with Rajiv. Prediction for India England.
Yeah, so first I'll answer the other part of the question also on the what happens to Australia and all. So again, Australia it has a very good domestic system, and the problem which we see that there are 6 7 players above 32 33 who will retire over a period of time. Even Australia knows that, and I think what will happen is in their home test series, which has around 5 to 8 tests which they play in their summers, they will keep introducing one bowler after the other. So you may not see the quadrant of Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, and Boland to be together. They'll always have one more person coming in, and they will then get
No,
through.
they normally
Cummins,
play Leo. They normally play Leo with them. Three pacers, one Leo.
then
Yeah,
I get that. I'm just saying these four
yeah,
are playing
yeah.
now.
Correct.
Specifically, they play all of the test in home test. They'll also get a couple of other people, and they will spread out, especially Stark and Hazelwood. Cummins will play because Cummins obviously is not so old. So
Old.
his
Yeah, and he's the
talk
captain. Yeah, he will
his
play.
discussion comes only in 27. So I
27,
think
correct.
Australia, if they plan it well, they can manage test cricket for sure. They are still going on a transition in the white ball cricket. But I think in red ball, they know how to manage this entire piece. The second is, can India qualify for 27? Actually, India has a realistic chance. Like I agree with Sagar because there are only, see, let us remember this WTC final is going to be played only by I-Sena countries, India and Sena. No other country is going to qualify. They are not going to play so many games. They don't know how to qualify. Simple. So these 5 countries are only playing for the WTC final. So India also has a decent chance because they're going to play many home test series. Only 2 series. One is this England, which is thankfully happening at the start only. Assuming we lose 5-0 also, you have a chance of making it up sometime. So that New Zealand away series, right? That will actually determine how we go. But we have to play very well at home.
But one thing, Rajiv,
We have
which
always
has just
take yeah.
one thing. Sorry. One thing which ICC has introduced is the docket point, which was not there in the previous ITC. You just check it. I also saw that the points are docked. For teams, the points are docked for less number of test matches. So there's a percentile which comes into play. If you play more, the percentile widens up. The bucket widens up.
This percentile was introduced. That is the reason New Zealand went to final in 21 when they played in Southampton. Otherwise, New Zealand had no business to be there
No.
in that final.
This time also there is something more to it. I think I'll tell you one to one.
We'll get to the rules, but I'm just saying
Rules.
generally interested teams are I-Sena only. Nobody else is interested in this entire thing. So why khelega? So if they play well those test series, these home test series, they have to play well. Then
So it
India
all
has a
boils
chance.
down to New Zealand away series. Looks
Yeah,
like.
तब का तब देखेंगे तो we know how it. See what happened now in New Zealand. Say we had to, between New Zealand and Australia, that total 8 test matches we had to win 3. We thought New Zealand को 2-0 तो पक्का हरा ही देंगे करके वो 3-0 white wash हुआ वहां पे जाके सब कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया वरना इंडिया was playing on 11th. So ठीक है मतलब जो हो गया सो
India knew they will lose in BGT, so India was banking actually on a 2-0 in New Zealand. Which didn't happen.
Exactly.
Correct.
But
Correct.
चलो जो हो गया सो हो गया. So my
your prediction on England.
Yeah, I want to go 3-1 England. That is England winning
1-3. Same as Kunal.
3-1. But somehow I feel if Kuldeep strikes, And if we plan well, 2 all is not, it's not out of reach.
You are saying 2 all
Because their
might be an
bowling is
option.
not
Okay.
good. Their bowling is not good.
2
But
all.
yeah, the home team always has an advantage of batting very well. उनका एक वो बहुत बड़ा advantage हो ही जाता है.
I'll come to my last.
But I'll
Sagar,
still say 3-1. 3-1. I'm
you
going
said
3-1.
3-1. Kunal said 3-1. Sagar.
I'll make it India 2-1. You're on mute, Rahul. You're on mute, Rahul.
Yeah, why 2-1?
Simple. I see. Let's put it this way. Who is the bowlers that India will have to play? Josh Tongue, Sam Cooper, Chris Wokes is coming back. Maybe Jofra Archer. Maybe.
Maybe
It's
no.
not decided.
Yeah, Jofra also.
Maybe. They've put it again on maybe, actually. Currently, again, they've put it on maybe because his apparent return to county 5 days has been delayed. So that's what I hear. So maybe Jofra in the last part of it. Rehan Ahmed, Rehan Ahmed, sorry, Bashir, not Rehan Ahmed. Bashir, most
Yeah.
probably as the spinner.
Shoaib Bashir.
So,
Shoaib Bashir.
Shoaib Bashir as the spinner. So now I want to actually, what I was actually looking and I was trying to understand, when was the last time maybe not maybe this your captain, English captain,
Ben Stokes.
Stokes, again coming back from an injury. So here we have Jamie Overton coming back from an injury layoff, only one test in 2022. We have Chris Wokes coming back from an injury. We don't know his longevity. He's pretty old also. We may have Geoffrey Archer coming back again after a very lengthy injury break. We will have an untested Sam Cooper, maybe, if he gets a place. Bryden Cast does not, at this current position, looks like to be a part of the team at all. So think of it, India or any country who had visited England in the last 10, 15 years had to face a Broad and a James Anderson. These guys used to bowl it on a single place. You give any pitch, they will bowl it on that same place for their whole 25, 30, 25, 25, 50 overs. That's where matches were lost in England. I saw this current matches. Josh Dunn, he lost his lino length in the very first over, and he did not recover his lino length. He does not have that what I would say the test mindset of bowling one place continuously. He tried a lot of things on a green pitch on the very first day when it was swinging it was swinging. He tried bowling bouncers at Jaiswal and Rahul. What sense will that make? Why my thing is because if Indian bowlers on the contrary has a better understanding with Jasprit Bumrah if Jasprit Bumrah fires and if Arshdeep fires, then you have for the shorter pitch you have a Siraj and this guy your Prasidh Krishna if they fire, and I completely agree with Rajiv. God forbid if Kuldeep fires. And I'll tell you why Kuldeep can fire. Kuldeep can even fire on a green pitch, which may be wet. Because please understand, if a pitch swings and if the pitch is not rock solid, Kuldeep can spin it also. A wet pitch, a dry pitch, that's the difference. A spinner can also spin it. The ball will come, hold up on the pitch, and then come, and then that would lead to the likes of your English white ball captain uh, playing a false stroke here and there. Bold, I know. I was personally, my mind and my logic says 3-1 against India, which is England 3, India 1. But somehow, I mean, after the series has been after the teams have been selected for the first, I completely see the England bowling attack not as strong as it apparently being made to make everybody feel. It's not that strong. That's my point.
Okay, good and bold prediction, 2-1. Yeah. Yes, Rajiv, please.
Actually, I have a question for Sagar. So when he predicts 2-1 for India, it looks like there could be two draw matches. One draw match can happen. I mean, in between there could be a drawn match,
Old
especially at
Trafford,
home.
most probably Old Trafford.
Yeah, yeah, could happen.
I'll tell you, the
Well,
other draw
the
match
other
can
thing
be the
is
first one only.
no. So the second question is: so do you think rains are going to come? I mean, we are dependent
Yeah,
on
yeah,
rain.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you see the Leeds pattern during from 20 to 25, there are 3 days of rain, 80% chance. That's where I think it can go for a draw.
Sudeep, your call on the take. You got three of us. Sudeep,
I think it is 3-1. I also believe in favor of England, or on best
1-3. So
situation
1-3
2-1,
mostly,
1-3, or
overwhelmingly
1-3 or
1-3.
1-2, 1-3 or 1-2.
Achha, but
If we are
1-3
lucky.
or 1-2. So you're saying 1-2. So you are again saying like Rajiv's asked. So you're asking
Yeah,
two
because
draws.
because I am a bit optimistic in Lords, and maybe India can play it out on Lords and Manchester, these two
Can you
grounds.
hold it a little closer, the mic?
I
Yeah.
am slightly optimistic on Lords and Manchester, these two grounds. Maybe India can hold on to their strength.
Lords and Manchester.
Manchester, these two
Yeah.
grounds.
Yeah. I agree. So it's 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, Sagar 2-1.
Uh,
I personally feel as a moderator, and in general, I have not given my review so far, which I'll give maybe in a couple of days. I have a feeling it is 1-3, but I am on the other side of Sagar, 1-4 maybe. 1-4, could be 1-4 also. India winning one of the 4-5. I think India will win, but I'm not too sure. 1-3 looks, for me, it is 1-3. 1-3 with 1-2 draw. 1-2 draw could be either Manchester or Kia Oval also. Could be Kia Oval. Because
mm.
end July, beginning August, could be. India has a good record in Kia. Could be Kia Oval. I'll have to again look at the records in the individual grounds. So that is, so overwhelmingly, it's a 1-3 for all of us, panel understood. Now we come to the last question, which was I thought was important to include, was the Pataudi Trophy, which has been going for ages, because Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi was captain of England and captain of India. His son was a captain of India, and we had a romance with history. The trophy was called Anthony de Mello Trophy in India, and when it plays in England, it is called Pataudi Trophy. Now, Sharmila Tagore herself objected to when the name change came in newspaper. Now it is changed to Anderson Tendulkar on Anderson and Tendulkar. My question first to Sudeep, then to Sagar and to Rajiv. Your take on changing the names, Sudeep.
I think this has been done purely on commercial grounds, but I personally feel they should have persisted with the legacy, It's basically tampering with the legacy, rich legacy, which is that cricket is always has a past rich legacy and tradition.
Correct,
So they
correct,
should have,
correct.
I mean, can you imagine an Australia-England series without Ashes name? Can you
Absolutely.
name it Cummins and Stokes Trophy?
Yeah, correct.
Huh?
Agreed.
Can you
Agreed.
name
It
it?
looks very odd. This Anderson Tendulkar looking very odd.
Very odd, and it has been purely to attract the young crowd. This has been done,
Yeah,
because
I
test
think so. It's
matches,
commercial. Absolutely, you are
it's
bang on.
purely commercial, and they should have persisted with the legacy. This is my personal opinion.
Correct. Thanks, Sudeep.
Yeah.
Sagar.
Completely. I mean, again, does not make any sense. I think the ECB and it was an ECB decision, what I understand, mainly.
Yes, but BCCI
Uh,
played into it. BCCI played
yeah,
into
yeah,
it,
yeah.
which is
Because ultimately, see, at the end of it, there are a lot of places while we say BCCI very strong, there are a lot of places where BCCI does not get into much also because of obvious. See, you have to understand. Tendulkar Anderson, the emotion of the English Anderson's just retired. He's become a sir. He will
yeah.
most probably become a knight after a few years. So the
Hmm.
emotion of, and he's still playing county.
Yeah. County,
So his
correct.
so I mean to get the crowds into the crowd into the stadium, who's the best bet? You get Anderson. The name Anderson attached to it.
Hmm.
Who's the next? If you want the Indian diaspora to come also, who do you want to name it? It is Sachin Tendulkar.
Hmm.
Most probabilities you will think 90% of the people will not obstruct to it. But yeah,
Hmm.
For me, it does not make any sense. It does not make any
Yeah, it didn't make sense for us also. Anything, Rajiv, your call on this the name change.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with. I think it was done for pure commercial terms. There is no doubt
I
about
thought
it.
so.
Now imagine
Yeah.
that Tendulkar and Anderson, when they played, they were not competitors.
No, they were not.
Anderson at his peak was Kohli's competitor. So where does Tendulkar and Anderson come together?
Yeah,
So
Anderson
it's
became
pretty
Anderson
foolish.
after 13
Second,
when Tendulkar
Tendulkar is
retired.
an he had his best moments against Australia. So ये
हम्म,
जानबूझ के किया है लेगेसी को मारने का मतलब इससे ज्यादा थर्ड क्लास आइडिया मुझे नहीं मालूम
एकदम
था
थर्ड क्लास, बहुत घटिया आइडिया, बहुत
ये
ही
दिस
घटिया
इज अ
आइडिया
पुअर
था।
आइडिया बट अब जो
हम्म,
क्या ही बोलेगा मतलब बेचारा फैन तो क्या है मतलब हम जैसे जो मतलब ये टेस्ट क्रिकेट के लिए जो मरते हैं वी नो द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड पटौड़ी ट्रॉफी सो
करेक्ट
ये
करेक्ट
मतलब
करेक्ट।
दिस इज जस्ट
आई वाज शॉक्ड, आई एम वेरी
रिडिकुलस
शॉक्ड एट दिस,
रिडिकुलस
वेरी शॉकिंग, वेरी
या
शॉकिंग।
इडियोटिक है बट ठीक है जो है सो है क्या बोलेंगे मतलब मुझे सबसे ज्यादा कॉमेडी वही लगा वेयर इज तेंदुलकर एंड एंडरसन कमिंग टुगेदर दे आर नॉट
No,
कमिंग टुगेदर
exactly.
राइट
Because Tendulkar retired in 13, Anderson became Anderson post 13. Yeah.
So, see, if the cup did not have any name and all, they named something, I would have agreed. But the name is there. So,
Correct. Yeah, Anthony
um,
Demelo in
नहीं
India
नहीं,
and
मैं एक चीज
Patodi.
आपको बता देता हूँ यहाँ पे, और एक चीज भी which has worked out is ECB actually coming out and saying, and it was called out in public, that bilateral series, how can it be named only after an Indian player?
हाँ कर सकता है ECB तो it's perfectly capable of doing all this thing. The other thing I also feel is commercial है क्योंकि विराट भी नहीं खेल रहा रोहित भी नहीं खेल रहा सी all the tickets were already sold out in name of विराट कोहली only. भाई टिकट इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम पे नहीं बिका है विराट कोहली के नाम पे बिका है ना वो नहीं जा रहा है तो ये नामकरण कुछ करेंगे they do something like this then only they get the moolah right
Very
so
true, very true.
On that note, guys, a wonderful first podcast comes to an end. I think we did it about 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Fantastic podcast. A lot of inputs from Sagar, from Rajiv, from Sudeep, and Kunal, of course, couldn't be there for all. I think it was a fantastic one. I think we hope that it will be liked by people when we'll upload this. And thanks to Sagar, thanks to Rajiv, and everyone for taking time out. Sudeep, especially traveling. I just came back. So thanks to all of you. And we are happy now. We have to see the output. So we'll see how it goes. I think
we'll see
Sudeep,
who's
you
the
can.
best
How do I
marketing